Yeah. So, Pal, you're new to the live stream. So, did you
Yes.
do a brief introduction to yourself?
Yeah. Well, my name is Pau. I'm from Spain, very close to Barcelona. Let's say, like around 100 kilometers. Well, I don't know in miles. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Basically, I started with typewriters like 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
we found my old mother's typewriter. Was completely new, no dust nor anything. I was like, okay, now I have already three because I have scavenged two from the neighbors too. So
Excellent.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I have actually haven't asked my neighbors if they have typewriters, but I don't know about there, but here you don't really talk to your neighbors much.
okay.
I wave to a couple of them and we're friendly and everything, but we don't really like mingle or
Uh,
get together or
yeah,
anything.
here in my neighborhood, we are like 20 houses, sort of. So we are not much people.
Okay.
And right now, the government is regulating how we throw the rubbish outside. So even
Ah,
if you throw like computers and stuff, has to be like kind of like have to write permits and stuff. So it's
okay.
like the neighbors are like, yeah, please take my trash, please. So it was easy on that part,
Yeah.
let's say.
Excellent. And now, what do you find yourself doing on the typewriters? Do you write letters or? Um,
Mostly for the journal. I usually use fountain pens. I collect fountain pens. So usually I do that.
Very
Now I
good.
don't have any letter to write right now, but I'm planning on writing some with the typewriter.
Excellent.
So for
Excellent.
now, it's mostly for the journal.
Okay.
But
Okay.
now I have to buy another journal that I can have like separate because I have this very thick notebook that I
Ah, yeah.
obviously cannot put inside. So
Yeah.
we are still adjusting a little bit, let's say. But I
Okay.
really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. It's very different, but it's very pleasant.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Now, I don't know offhand if you have already joined typepals.com.
Yeah, like 2, 3 days ago, something
Oh,
like that.
okay. Excellent. Excellent.
I got the confirmation like yesterday or
Ah, okay.
Friday or something like that.
Okay. Excellent.
So
Very good. Yeah. Because that'll be good for connecting with people as far as writing
yes,
letters and
yes,
uh,
because I have been searching, but I couldn't find anything in Spanish. Maybe in Facebook, but I don't have Facebook, so I really don't know.
okay.
So yeah, that's one of the easier ones. We're like, yeah, okay, that's a group. It's like I saw the YouTube channel too. And we're like, hey, this sounds fun. So let's. It's a
Excellent.
nice time for me too. It's like 5 in the afternoon right now here, so
Okay,
it's
perfect.
kind of nice time too.
Yeah, it's pretty early here. It's 8 a.m. So
Oh wow.
yeah, I'm weird like that though. So and then Steve, I believe you're new as well.
Hello.
Yes. Hi. Hey, Bob. Yeah, I'm new. I've known Bob for a while.
Oh,
Been
okay.
on the other sites, but hello. Can you hear me?
I have
Yes.
no idea who this Steve guy is. Oh, darn. I just gave it away, didn't I? Sorry. I tried so hard. Good to see you, Steve. How are you?
Oh, great. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. You sound good.
Okay. Yeah, having weird problems at time. Yeah, hi. Yeah, I'm pretty new. I've been on the typosphere for a while. Met Bob a while ago with my rocket. Uh, and No, I met you, I think, at the Mission Inn, not the Riverside Museum, or at least I saw you at the
Oh, okay.
Riverside Museum with
Yes.
Bob.
Yes. Yes.
He was the guy
And
with the mask on.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, the crazy guy with the mask on. Yeah.
We
And
were all
I'm
crazy.
sorry I had to run out. I did have to run out, but I wanted not to bother anybody, so I had to slip out. But it was a great show, and I wish I did bring my machines.
Oh.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. You made everybody laugh. That was, and you had amazing machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just picked up that display yesterday. I came into the middle of the conversation. What were we chatting about? We were introducing Steve. Steve, I'm so glad you made it. Yeah, Steve lives just a town or two over these days. Are you in Riverside, Steve? You're in Riverside.
I am in Riverside.
He's in
I live out by UCR.
Very cool.
And just carrying around my rocket, hopefully to get the spring fixed.
I think that thing's really cool because it was your dad's, wasn't it, or your grandfather's? There's a great story.
My dad's. Yeah, my dad's. It was his machine back in college in Hungary, and then he brought it over, gave it to me, and I got some stuff published on it. Back in the 90s, now everything's digital. You know, you can't type anything to submit anything anymore. Yeah, it only broke once under my care, and I looked on Google for my dad's old writings. He was a scientist, and I blew it up and enlarged the print, and the same exact little inconsistencies as on the rocket is the same as what he used back in the 60s. So it's really cool.
Wow.
Well done. Very cool.
No, I think you recently signed up for TypePals. Am I right?
I signed up for what? I'm sorry, I got to turn up this a little bit.
Did you recently sign up for TypePals?
Sorry, something's weird going on.
Oh, okay. Well, I know someone else in Riverside recently signed up for typepals.com, and I was thinking maybe it was you, but I guess not.
It was no, it was me.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, yes, another Riverside person.
Well, that's what we need. And I met Steve. You know me, how I like to meet people. I was just getting a cup of coffee and heard this noise in the back patio, back to the grind, and there he was clunking on this old rocket.
Nice.
This is great.
Yeah.
We started chatting, and Steve showed up to a few of the local Typewriter Club meetups.
Okay.
I don't know if there are any of the ones you were at, Gregory, or not, but
no.
Anyways, we're very fortunate to have someone cool like Steve who works in the field of law and uses typewriters. It's very exciting.
Yeah, very cool.
I've got a rocket I'm building right now on my bench. So I'm excited to get this little rocket going. This is one of my personal machines, so that'll be nice. Yeah, I had to take down the good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. I had to take down the installation Friday afternoon. They had a big thing they were doing Saturday in the atrium, and they didn't. I was hoping to take it down today, but they had a few other cool. They had a live artist in the atrium that was scheduled to be there Saturday, and they thought they would just move him into the lobby. And I said, well, no, that isn't going to work. So let's put him in the atrium. The atrium's such a wonderful space. So I ran over there Friday after work and broke down the whole exhibit, and threw it in the back of the truck and got it on home. And that worked really well. Yesterday we had a mass shindig out in LA, and it was very exciting. I got to meet a lot of neat people, several neat people. One of them who was the curator at the Hollywood Museum.
Oh.
The Hollywood Museum is in that old barn that they use to record or shoot movies. The first Western in Hollywood in. So the old barn is kind of what Hollywood is built around before there was even anything called Hollywood. What a neat guy. He just had a lot of neat things to say, and they still have the typewriter of Cecil. Who's that writer? That screenwriter, Cecil. I forget now. Darn it. Anyways, it was very, very informational. There's a lot of good stuff when it comes to Hollywood, old Hollywood, museums.
Yeah.
And typewriters.
Yeah. Was it Cecil B. DeMille?
You win. Yeah. Yeah, and he was telling me the story, and I appreciate. I live in Southern California, right next to old Hollywood, and it's to say I just don't know much about it. I've never studied it. I don't own a TV, so I'm really not into movies. I've got the handful of movies that I'll enjoy every now and then, and I do own a TV. It's just hooked to the VCR. I don't have the cable shows and whatnot. So I think it's really neat how he just started coming west, looking for somewhere to shoot, somewhere with good weather, and then he found Hollywood, and he said, well, I've got this old barn here, so I'm just going to shoot this movie here, and I don't know the movie. Anywho, and that's how Hollywood sprung up.
Yeah.
He just brought his typewriter west until the weather was good and said, well, I'm almost at the ocean, so this is probably as good as it gets, so let me shoot a movie here.
Yeah.
It was very neat. But we did that yesterday in the Typewriter Connection space that's in
Very
downtown LA Art District. It's such a great space, such a great. My buddy Aaron, is there, and we have a good time. I was able to fix a machine for him, procure a few older parts machines, if you will, that he wasn't interested in. But I have several machines there for sale. So I think it's a really neat place if anybody's going through the downtown art district in Los Angeles. I just spent all day there yesterday.
Wow. I had to work, otherwise I totally would have been there. Definitely. Yeah.
Well, it's a good trek down the 60 between us. It's a good 60 miles.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But you get it on a good, you get good traffic and good weather.
Yeah.
It's okay. We left really early. Filled up the truck, left really early, set up all the things, and then went ahead and came back. So we're having a good time. How's everyone else? Corey, did you talk already? How's business treating you?
Hello. Can unmute myself. There, good.
We can't hear you.
Oh,
Your volume's very low
Your
again.
volume's, yeah. Where's your microphone? Maybe hold your microphone in front of your mouth.
hello, testing.
No, that doesn't do it.
Give me 5 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes.
In the meantime, how are you, Patty?
Yeah.
I'm good. It's been a good week in typewriters. And it was my birthday yesterday, so I bought myself a couple typewriters this week.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. Yep, the Signet was one of them. I'm really having a good time playing with that machine. It really is. I didn't realize how unique it was until I started doing a little digging, but it's amazing how easy they are to work on once you get rid of the tab and the backspace and the shift. There's not much under there to fix. So
Yeah.
Aside from that star wheel being totally froze up, the guy said it was working when I bought it, but there's no way it could have been working. It took 6 hours of soaking to get that thing to move. So I know it wasn't. He probably struck one key and saw that it typed, and then that was the extent of it. And he was ready to give me a refund, but I messaged him back and told him I got it going. So it was a good purchase. I'm glad I got my hands on it. It was on eBay. I just happened to join in on the buy it nows at the right time. He had just posted it, got it for 2 figures, and the shipping was really fast. And he even sent me pictures of him packing it so I could see.
Oh,
that
wow.
He was I thought that was pretty nice of him, and he did a really good job of getting it here intact. So. And my other machine that I bought this week is a 39 Sterling. It was also an eBay find. It just happened to just log in, and it said 30s Sterling Smith Corona script. And I went, script? I mean, it was an old black tuxedo with the 3 stripes. And I said, something's not right about this. So I opened it up and looked at it, and lo and behold, it's vertical script. So I clicked the buy it now and just bought it. I said, I'm not going to let this one get past me. So I have another machine coming here tomorrow. So I've got my work cut out for me this week.
Nice.
But otherwise, everything is good. South Dakota's hot and dry. And so I'm not heading out on the sales. It's just too warm to be out and about.
Yeah, exactly.
Staying in the air conditioning.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah, I'm happy about your finds though. So that's
Yeah, it was a good week. Yeah, I got to stop though. I've gotten to the point where I can't remember what I have and I don't have. I'm in my living room. I need more shelving, and I really have got to take a pause for a while and
Yeah.
get some things organized.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome back to Typewriter Club Live.
It's good to be here.
Excellent. And Craig, how are you?
Doing really good. Had to hit the mute to take it off. Doing really good. Been pretty quiet up here this week. I'm up in Michigan. We've gotten a lot of rain, which we haven't had a whole lot of this year. But when it comes down in buckets. So we get some flooding in some areas and stuff in the area. I personally haven't experienced any, but it's been having some of that. So it's been a pretty quiet week up here. And so that's really about it. Not too much else.
Okay.
Oh, and I got my sticker, as you may have seen on the Facebook thing. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate all you do for the Type Pals and stuff like that, because I know it's got to be a lot of work. And I mean, there's a lot that's got to go out to a lot of them. Ted, I see you're here. I appreciate everything you've done with the database and all that. And I really do appreciate it. It's really easy enough to get your way through in that. So, and I know you guys work really hard at those things. I know it's labor of love. So I just want to show my appreciation to you guys. So thank you.
Well, Ted is a much harder worker than I am. So
I don't know. I'm going to tell you something. I think you've got a really tough job going on there. So I don't know which one of you works actually harder for those two things. And, and I really enjoy coming on here and doing this. I had you on YouTube last week, and I watched the whole thing, because I really do appreciate all the help and everything, and a lot of the advice that comes out of everybody. Like Bob, you come up with so many great ideas and things to help us out with fixing our machines and things, and just kind of spurring the old thought process, even, and it's everybody. I mean, it's not just anybody there. So if I left you out, I'm sorry, but I just, I appreciate the whole crew and the group, and it seems like we've got a really friendly group, and I just enjoy participating.
Oh, well, we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Curry, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me now? Is it any better?
It's slightly better.
Oh.
Let's just go with it.
Oh, it could be an OBS thing, or who knows. But I'll try and keep tweaking it. But no, it was a good week this past week, and I've got an Underwood 5 that I'm working on for a client at the moment. But I need to go and find a parts machine, because he brought it and it's missing a few pieces from the carriage return. There's a missing connection in there somewhere. So I need, that's the challenge when you're starting out, right? Is you don't have parts machines that readily available for everything that you can cannibalize from. But he's also getting a second machine from a buddy, and I'm gonna go and I'm keeping my eyes open for a parts machine as well, and may take a trip out of town to go visit another typewriter repair person that's got some parts. So working on that, and then in the midst of all that, I got another email last night from somebody who wants another Underwood 5 fixed. So I don't know what the obsession is. Underwood 5s, just find one that works. Would be one thing, but I guess it's good for the business side of things.
You're going to end up being an Underwood 5 specialist.
I guess so. It seems to be the thing. So, but yeah, it's and obviously limited on space. You got to be careful how many kind of dead parts machines you bring in and stuff. Otherwise, I'll be doing like David Torres and having to get a storage unit up the road here. But so yeah, it's exciting. It sort of comes in little bits, but I think it'll keep going and growing, and as I get the word out more locally and stuff. And so yeah, here's one exciting thing from this week. So I know some of you have stickers. So those of you that have a typewriter business have some stickers. So we got the Willow Creek sticker in this week.
Oh, cool.
So excited about that. And I also got the summer camp one. So
on
the website, you've probably seen, I've got some t-shirts and stuff up like that. And if you buy some of the typewriter summer camp stuff, I'll send you a sticker in the mail. These are really nice. So gonna have some fun sending those out to some type pals as well that I'm gonna write some letters to. So
Excellent.
But is there a real typewriter summer camp? That's what we want.
I think there should be next year. I think we need to do something about that, right? And
Yeah.
figure out what that looks like. So yeah, I've had some people say, "Oh, this should be a thing." It should be a thing next year. Yeah. And then bunch of type pals mail in the last like 2 weeks or so. So I've got one here from Eric Tidd and Joao from Portugal. One from oh gosh, remember what her name is off the top of my brain. Lee from Leeds in the UK.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Yep. And then and one from let's open this one up. From Sean in Calgary. So then see he's doing the sticker thing as well. So little plug for Sean there with his stickers. So that's fun part of this is as more and more people are getting stickers to be able to swap stickers in the mail. And pretty soon we'll have the place plastered all these different typewriter shops and whatnot. So and then I also got a little thank you from Gregory as well with a few of the Type Pal stickers in it as well. So what he's got on the screen, a little Type Pal stickers. So it was a stickers week, so that's all fun. So yeah, I gotta get some more letters written and sent out this week too, and I've got no excuse because now I've got a few extra machines that picked up yesterday. Shot Gregory sent you a little sneak peek picture last night, and you got both of them. So I had these two cases stacked, but yeah, it's kind of been an Olympia week, and don't seem to be that common here. I'm in southwestern Ontario in Canada, and I don't see a lot of Olympias. I picked up an Olympia Traveler Deluxe S in orange a couple of weeks ago, but I've always been keeping my eyes open for an SM3 because it seems like people are obsessed with these SM3s, and there's one typewriter shop called Colombo Collection, and she just seems to have this endless supply of SM3s that then she repaints and puts out there and stuff. And I'm like, I've not seen a single SM3 around here in the year and a bit now that I've been collecting. And so my wife and I went out in the rain yesterday to a big outdoor antique market near our place. And there was this case, and I opened it up, and there's an Olympia SM3 sitting there. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and get that one. But I think anyone that then I've sort of set it side by side with my Hermes 3000. I'm going, man, this is a tough competition about which one I like better now.
Well, one's a bit more affordable on the market than another one, so that might be.
So.
I tell you what, Curry, it's always a give and take. You were talking how you needed parts for that number 5, and I suspect if you found a way just to tell the customer, hey, I've got lines on a few parts, but give me some time, and if you gave yourself a month or two, I think eventually you'd find all the parts you were looking for. They'd fall into your lap. I know myself, I don't have really any parts machines, right? But if you give yourself a little time, you'll find someone, and you post on, I've posted on that Parts Exchange on Facebook, the Facebook page, if you need parts, and you put it out there, or even just putting it out on this. And I don't know if I just wait a month or two, like the parts just fall into my lap. I'm just going to throw it out there. Don't ask me how it works. I know that stinks in the ideologies of running a business and getting a machine back to the customer on time. And more importantly, well, not more importantly, but equally as importantly, getting paid, all the things, right? Anyways, if you find a way to maybe just relax and wait, people like Colombo, she's got people out looking for Olympias for her all the time, and then they ship them to her, right? They rebuild them and ship them to her, I know she's got that who's that one guy, I think he's down in Puerto Rico, he puts a bow on the machine, and ships it to her, and her big thing, of course, is painting them, right? That's how she makes the glorious machines that she does. So it does take a lot of time. I've gotten to the point now where people just show up and drop off typewriters to me all day long. Once they know you're a typewriter safe space, they're going to, find ways to get all the machines to you. I think it just takes time, and it's probably taken me 2 or 3 years to get to this point. But anyways, if you find a way just to let the customer know, hey, I don't have the parts now, but I suspect I'll have them in a month or two. If the customer can wait, I get it. Sometimes they can't, or they want the machine back in the meantime, or whatever it may be. But anyways, I've that's what I've learned. Wait, parts just
fortunately with this Underwood 5, it's a repeat client, so this is actually his third machine that he's given me to fix. So he's like, no rush on it. He's like, you've given me the first two and done a great job with those, and he's busy with those two. So he's like, no rush, don't worry about it, which is great when you have customers that are like that, and especially getting started. And so we'll get there eventually. And but as long as it doesn't become an endless stream of Underwood 5 clients, but maybe it will be, I don't know. But it's fun, having fun with it, and I guess that's the important part, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and keep your feelers up and out, and somewhere you'll find one in someone's basement, or someone will be selling the parts that you need. It was the most produced typewriter in the world, so the parts are out there. You know what I've been getting lately, and we won't talk too much business, guys, sorry, but I've been getting a lot of, hey, I'd like to set up an appointment to drop off this machine with you for repair. And I'm like, okay, Thursday afternoon, whatever. And then they call me Wednesday or Thursday and say, well, I can't do that. My wife's decided she doesn't want the machine repaired. My grandmother's decided she doesn't want the machine repaired. People have set up the machines for repairs only to decide they don't want the machine repaired. They really just want it as a relic in their house. They don't want it working because it used to belong to grandpa or whatever. I'm just sharing this with you in case you have similar issue in the future. And I just go, oh, okay, well, let me know if I can help you in the future, of course. But I've gotten that a handful of times in as many weeks, and I'm not sure what it is, but they just, and it's always a big old Underwood standard. That's what made, or something like that. Anywho, we'll have to see what the future holds in that. There seems to be a lot of people who just want the machines to sit and look pretty. They don't want them working. So
and I've had a few people contact me about typewriters. One was for doing invitations and stuff for her wedding, and she contacted me, and then she was going to go look for paper and call me back. Haven't heard anything yet. And then another one that's looking to set up a typewriters and tequila event sometime this summer. So for writers, it sounds really fun. I'd like to go myself. And so she was wondering if I had typewriters to rent. And I'm like, yeah, I think I have enough typewriters around here that I can rent 10 of them to you. So things just sort of evolve, don't they? There's people come out of the woodwork and with things you never expected. But that's what makes it fun, keeps it interesting. So
the rental is going to be a big theme. We're doing a theme in a month at a winery in Malibu. What do they call it? A type and sip, I think they're calling it. But it's, drink wine and type on typewriters. So we'll have to see how this goes. It'll be pretty exciting. Whatever. I've got a slew of Corona 5s, Sterlings, Super Silence, whatever, that I rent out for that kind of thing. So, because they've got really nice cases, and when people look at them, they make sense as far as typewriters go. I've learned that's just my opinion. The average person who's never typed on a typewriter, you hand them a Corona 5, and they're like, oh, this makes sense, and they can make more sense out of it than any other machine, in my humble opinion. So have a good time with that. That'll be a lot of fun.
Good.
And Curry, I do have to ask your impressions of the SM3.
Oh, it's a little bit louder than the Hermes 3000, I'll say that, but it's like snappier. Like the feel is it's shorter. Just a different feel than the Hermes, and it's just like responsive. And that's why I'm just sort of gonna have to go back and forth between the two of them a little bit. And but I mean the nice part when you get a typewriter in the box and it's like in good shape and you really don't need to do much to it. I mean, there's a little bit of shavings and stuff like that in there, but really not much. I mean, it's really clean. So that's always nice when you get something that you don't have to do much with. But yeah, it'll. I think I'm gonna be using this one for the next little while. I'm sure. And then so this was yesterday that I picked this one up. And then Friday night, I had contacted somebody just here locally that had another Olympia. So this little one that you'd seen Gregory in the photo. Let me put this the rest down there. But another one of these, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And let's get the lid off of here if I can do this single-handedly here. So again, another one that I've not come across, an Olympia SF. And as you can see, it's got the German keyboard on it. All the accents.
Oh yeah, QWERTZ, yeah.
And she had brought it over with her when she came to Canada. We've got a big German community here in where I am. And she brought it with her back in the 50s or 60s when she came to Canada. And it was time for her to part ways with it. So yeah, this one just needs a little bit of cleaning. There's a few sticky keys on it, but other than that, I think this one's going to stay in the collection as well. Yeah, for sure. And then with that one, they were also getting rid of it's a Brother GX 6000, and I was kind of humming and hawing. I'm like, do I really want another electric daisy wheel machine? And I thought, well, I'll take the Olympia off your hands. And then they were like, well, you sure you don't want to take the other one? Because, you know, they were older couple, and they were like, well, how are we going to change our Facebook mark Kijiji post or whatever it was? And they're like, you sure you don't want it for $20? And I was like, oh man, like I guess you kind of feel bad. You're like, all right, here, have another $20. I'll take it away. Plugged it in and was playing around with it this morning. It's actually pretty good.
There you go.
The ribbon's good still, and so I'm sure it'll find a home or find a use for it at some point. But yeah, so yeah, another 3 machines in the last 48 hours.
Excellent. Very good, very good. All right, Ted, how are you doing?
I am fine. How are you?
Very good, very good.
You got a new haircut.
Yes. It's the summer cut.
Summer cut. It's about time.
Yeah, see, when I let my hair grow out, it does these really weird things. My bangs flip up, and
Kind of like my
just
beard.
Yeah.
This sort of thing.
Yeah. So yeah, the hair had to go. So.
Well, you know.
I go from extremes.
Bob's gonna have to bug you about not being a hippie anymore.
I know, huh?
Well, and that's the funny part. I'm glad we're picking on Gregory's hair and not my hair, but thanks for picking on my. But Gregory can grow a full head of hair. He just keeps it, nice and tight. And in our age, we can't always grow a full head of hair, but Gregory does really well. But yeah, he can wear it any way he wants, right? So
it's kind of funny because my brothers make fun of me because I have the most gray in my hair out of our whole family. Nice. I'm the only one that has a full head of hair. Everyone else is balding, so I feel pretty good about that.
That's right. Good for you.
Laugh at your family. That's what love is all about.
Exactly.
Anything new in your world, Ted?
Oh, lots of things, I'm sure, but I can't remember any of it. So.
What do you have there in front of you?
Oh, I have a little Dell Mini 910 from about 2006, I think.
Wow.
Little single core netbook that I've been playing with. I'm using it as a recording machine, but right now I'm trying to install a trash can in Linux. So for some reason, Space FM doesn't have it built in, so I have to make it happen.
Interesting.
It's one of the joys of Linux.
Yeah.
I like those old 10-inch machines. I've got 2 or 3 of them I've used for, typing, just word processors, right? Not really computers, just word processors. They're
kind of great for that. Yeah, as long as it's got a good battery. And this one's got a great battery. I don't know why it still works, but it takes a good charge and runs for many hours. And
wow.
So I'm working on turning it into a recording machine for taping stuff.
That'll be cool. I had a good argument about that in my talk last week, is that I'm really hoping in the near future, I'm thinking 10 to 20 years, they'll actually make a computer that can last 50 years like they did with the typewriter. But what say you, Ted?
Well, I've got a few that have lasted 30 years, so.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Are still running.
Yeah.
think we're pretty new in the world of computers as far as what they can do. I kind of feel like we're stuck in the 1920s of typewriters as we're in the 2020s. So I'm excited by 2050, what a computer will look like, what it will cost, what it can do. I suspect a laptop will be able to last 50 years as long as you don't drop it, right? So
There won't be laptops then, I'm sure.
oh yeah.
We'll all be having, the chip implanted in our right arm or forehead.
Yeah.
That's an idea.
It's coming.
I mean, no thank you, but that's an idea.
You're gonna be one of the rebels.
Oh yeah. My cell phone's bad enough,
Oh.
So yeah, that's the future.
Yeah.
And I like holding on to the past.
Yeah. Well, you are archivist after all.
That's true. That's my job.
Well, it's good to see you, Ted.
It's good to see you too.
Excellent. Eric, how are you doing?
Good. How's everybody doing?
Very good. Yeah. Anything new in your world?
Yeah, a few things. So I finally got hold of some correct type.
Cool.
So now I don't have to use whiteout, and it's life changing.
Yeah.
King size correct type.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was the first one that I saw, and it was at a pretty good price. I know most of the ones I've seen that people show have the plastic doodad that they come in, but it just comes with like the tabs that they just kind of like tear off like that. It's like perforated. So that's what I've been using.
So it has changed your life.
Yes. And then I also started using some new sealing wax, which I guess it doesn't really show. It doesn't really tell you anything, but I just got it on Amazon, and it's got the wick instead of the. I was using the J. Ron supple wax before, and it's a lot easier to use the wick kind, I find. But I'm curious if anybody has gotten a letter from me recently. I know Angela has, because we just direct message, but if anybody's gotten a letter from me recently with that new sealing wax, if it's held up, I'd be curious to know. I don't know if there's anybody on right now. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but I'll check in later, because I don't think it's the supple kind. So I'm wondering if I send it through the mail, if it's going to show up like all cracked and tacked.
Yeah.
But
I use the harder kind, and it tends to hold up.
Okay.
It's more of like a plastic, so it does have some give, but it's a lot stiffer, and it's actually resistant to breaking, so it should work fine.
Okay. Awesome.
And Eric, one thing you can do, you can just mail yourself a letter.
I could do that. I've already sent letters to, I think, Natasha, Bill, Matt, and a few others.
Okay.
That sent me letters recently. So if they come on, I'll see how it held up. But
very good. Very good. I would be curious to know, because I guess that's one fear I have, is the survival of the of the little wax seal in the mail. So yeah. So be sure and let us know how that goes, and then maybe at some point you can share the link with us.
Oh, the link to Amazon? Yeah.
Yeah, to that specific manufacturer or seller or whatever. Yeah, that would be cool. Well, it's good to see you again, Eric.
Good to see you guys as always.
And Angela, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm picking up an SM7 tomorrow down the coast. She had it listed for 150, and I said I can do 100. She said okay. So
Nice.
it has all the little, it has a little cleaning kit and everything with it.
Oh,
So I've
wow.
never had an F7, but it seems comments have been good about them on the antique typewriter group. So we'll give it a try.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. And have you received my letter yet?
No, I have not.
Oh no.
And I haven't seen it arrive in Virginia either, but I haven't, I can check
Yeah. Darn.
Virginia.
Right. And unfortunately, I don't make copies of my or I don't scan my outgoing letters. I'm old fashioned that way, I guess. But well, if it doesn't get there soon, I will write you again.
Okay.
Excellent. All right. And William, how are you?
Doing very well. How about yourself there?
Very good. Very good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I see a new to me face on there. Pal, how are you today?
Hi, fine. What about you?
That's good. And you're from
Spain.
Spain. That's what. Yes, I seem to remember having seen your name on the Typewriter directory.
Yes,
whereabouts?
I joined like 2 or 3 days ago.
Cool. Whereabouts in Spain?
Near Barcelona, like in between Barcelona and the French border. So
okay,
just like middle point there, more or less.
Yep. I originally come from England, so I know a bit about the European geography, and so it's always neat to meet people from Western Europe.
We are just below Andorra, just below.
Yes, yep, for sure. Well, glad you could join us. So
yeah, it's always good.
I didn't mean to hijack the conversation there.
No. It's your turn to talk, sir.
Yeah.
Is there anything new in your world?
Well, excuse me. I bought you remember a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, showing the typewriter with a very unusual keyboard.
I believe so.
That Groma Calibri. I bought that from Craig Fidus of the Antique Shop. It has been stuck in Calgary for the last week with UPS. It seems the UPS in the States are wonderful. Once you get north of the border, they are hopeless. They can't find their boat with both hands. And the last thing I got on the tracking is UPS does not deliver to post office box numbers. We are trying to find an alternate address. If UPS does not deliver to box numbers, why then did the UPS shipper in the States accept the package with only box number on it?
Yeah, I know some shipping services they hand it over to the USPS or the postal service. So I don't know if they just don't do that in Canada or
Very possible.
Yeah.
So that might be due to a difference in procedures between the US and Canada. That in the US, USPS works with the USPS. UPS works with the USPS, but over up here, UPS does not work with Canada Post.
Oh, okay.
Could be.
Okay.
So I'll give it another week or so, then a few more days, and I'll contact Greg and see if he can find out what's happening.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that works out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, and I haven't been doing much letter writing as of late. Right now it is my busy season.
Okay.
I'm being a small engine mechanic. This is the time of year when everybody's going. Putting in 10 to 12 hours a day in the shop doesn't leave much energy left at the end of the day.
I bet. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And
I did receive a letter from William. Should have brought that out. The new member from Winnipeg, in Canada, right at the end of the list.
Okay. I
Marsh.
Yeah, I don't remember the name. because we have 70 members now.
I know. It was 68 last night.
Yeah, I added a couple kind of light, and yeah, so it's really growing. So I'm very pleased about that, definitely. And from all over the world, it's all over the world.
Oh, well, there's Pao from Spain, John from Japan, Joe from I forget where he's from now. Joe Bernardo, Portugal, I think.
Yeah, Portugal. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch from the US and a few of us from Canada.
Yeah.
And a few from England. There's Lee Kennedy, a few others from England as well.
Yeah.
And so once things settle down this fall, I'm going to start getting into some serious letter writing.
Very good. Very good.
The last letter I wrote. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just to say, well, from what I hear, you write very long letters, so I think you deserve a break right now.
Uh-oh. From what you hear, have people been talking about me then?
Well, yeah, I think was it last week someone mentioned that they had received a 6-page letter from you?
I think that was Natasha that said that one week.
Okay.
I like William's long letters.
Oh yeah, no complaints there. Definitely, I love long letters. Definitely.
Yeah. A lot of people say that I'm almost what they call a chatty writer. I chat on the paper, and what I find is when I'm in, well, I have my typewriter set up in the spare bedroom in the basement, so there's no computer nearby. I've got the radio playing on the bookcase behind me. There's no other thoughts, no other distractions. So the thoughts come from my mind, down my arms, through the keys, onto the paper, and quite often I'll find myself taking off on a tangent or following a rabbit trail into the woods, and before I realize what happened, and I say just consider that part of the personality of the letter.
Yeah, exactly.
Before now, I had written a 10-page letter to a friend in Holland. That was on the real thin airmail paper.
Yeah.
12 CPI single spaced.
Oh, okay.
Lots of information on that letter.
Oh, yeah.
So I will let some other members have some airtime. I don't want to hug everything. Good morning, Joe. How goes? Good to see you again.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello, Bernardo.
I heard you talk about me, so yeah, had to represent Portugal here.
Hi.
Hi, Diane.
Diane.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm trying to type my typing prompt, which I wrote on the computer last night because, well, because I could. At least I got it. At least I wrote it, but I want to type it before I read it. So
yeah.
and Gregory, yes, thank you. Your package arrived on Monday.
Good. Excellent. Very good.
And so yes.
And Brian, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing just peachy.
Good. That's what we like to hear.
Thank you. I was just typing on my tip up.
Oh, nice. The creamsicle one.
Yeah. I was trying to go and type outside this morning, and I had everything set up outside, and I was out there for about 2 minutes, and I was pouring sweat. Bugs are flying all over me, and I'd come in. So
yeah.
It's less hot than it has been today, but it's still really, really hot. It's I think it's like 95 already this morning.
Wow. Yeah. Here it started out overcast, and now the sun finally came out. It looked like it was thinking about raining, but I knew it wasn't going to rain. Not here in Southern California.
Yeah.
Now the sun's out, so I think it's supposed to be low to mid 90s today. So
that would be nice.
So we have it a little better than you.
Good. Well, enjoy it.
Yeah.
I was just taking my taking those.
Am I?
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yeah. This is
your audio is a little low.
Funny. Oh. Oh, wait. Yeah, this thing, it's got a beamforming microphone, so it picks up really well in front of where you are, but
Yeah.
not from the side. So,
Yeah.
well, just pretend you're looking at these things. So,
Wow.
yeah, I made some discoveries. I found out that it is. I looked at the trace coming out of the oscilloscope and the ups and downs, peaks of the signal, and one of them was always putting out 1011. In binary is 11. It's in decibels 11. And it was like every other thing it sent out was that. And long story short, the other one I have puts out a different code when you send stuff. So I think they're identifying themselves uniquely to the teacher's computer.
Oh, yeah.
And I swapped the microcontrollers out between one and the other one's making the code moved with the chip.
Ah.
That was helpful, although the protocol is a little over my head. I'm still working on it. I'm not going to give up yet, but I looked for like what the standard infrared data format is, and there really isn't one. There's tons of standards.
Yeah.
And they just rolled their own way of doing it. So it's going to take me a while longer.
Yeah.
But I had fun.
Yeah.
And I'm learning, so that's all good.
Very good.
In terms of actual like typewriter stuff, I don't have anything going on.
That's okay. You're here. That's all that matters.
Well, I like to keep up with what everyone else is doing. What's the typing prompt for today?
It was love at first sight when I turned on the TV.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Sadly, I did not do it.
I don't feel so bad about not having done it, but I'll work on that on my lap over here.
Sure. Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah. It looks like William has one.
Yeah.
Very cool. Did you want to go ahead and read it?
If others are ready and want to hear it, absolutely.
Of course. Go for it.
Okay. It was love at first sight when I turned on TV. It was early 1985, probably February or March. We had one television set and 3 channels, CBC and CTV out of Calgary and CFCN out of Lethbridge. In other words, we had peasant vision. My stepfather didn't see the need for any more channels than 3. After all, that's all we ever had in England. The news came on at 6:30 p.m. every day, so what else did he need the TV for apart from the news and the weather? I happened to be at a friend's house one evening and saw a trailer for a new program airing on CTV called Otherworld. The storyline was about a family who were vacationing in Egypt and were led into a lesser-known pyramid by a bogus tour guide who planned to rob them. As the family tried to get away from the would-be robber, they slipped through an interdimensional portal into the other world. The adventures that followed were about how this family tried to get back to a portal to their own or this world. At the time, I was just 23 years old and wouldn't be turning 24 until April of that year. My stepfather was a retired airline captain and a decorated wartime pilot who ran a very scheduled household. Sometimes this got a little frustrating, but you always knew exactly where you stood, and I had more respect for my stepfather than I did for my own dad. I was given permission to turn the TV on at 1800 hours to watch his show, but the TV would be turned back to CBC at 1830 for the news and weather. I could then turn back to CTV at 1850 as no one in our house was interested in the sports news. When I worked at the Gulf gas station, my workday was from 0800 to 1800 with an hour for lunch, but I had just started my apprenticeship with a John Deere dealership that January, where the workday went from 0800 to 1630, half hour for lunch. So I could be back home for supper at 1700. After supper, I turned the TV on to watch the news show. It was American, of course, but it was an interesting premise. The stars of the show were the Sterling family, Hal and June, with their 3 children, Trace, Gina, and Smith. I fell in love with Gina Sterling right there and then. She was beautiful and everything I figured a girl should be. The show only ever had 8 episodes and was never rerun on any of the major channels. The memories of Gina Sterling have been with me ever since. When I read today's type prompt, it inspired me to do some internet research on that show. Part of Gina Sterling was played by Jonna Lee Pangburn, who was born on November 6th, 1963, so was just 2.5 years younger than me. It turns out that Jonna Lee also appeared on a few of the TV shows like Growing Pains and several movies I've never even heard of from the 1980s. Internet research also indicates that Jonna Lee married a Canadian, quite a few years younger than herself, has 2 children, and now creates various forms of modern art and lives in the Los Angeles area. A little more show information for those who are interested. Otherworld ran for a total of 8 episodes from January 26th to March 16th, 1985 on CBS, and a little later here up in Canada. Cast of characters. Hal Sterling was played by Sam Groom. June Sterling was played by Gretchen Corbett. Trace Sterling was played by Tony O'Dell. Gina Sterling, Jonna Lee Pangburn, and Smith Sterling was played by Chris Herbert. And 2 other characters of note. Commander Naveen Kroll was played by Jonathan Banks, and Lieutenant Zero was played by Wayne Alexander. The Sterling family are pursued by Commander Kroll and his zone trooper aide throughout all 8 episodes. It appears that all 8 episodes are now available on a 2 DVD set, so I'm thinking that would be a great Christmas present if Juliana, my wife, hasn't already thought of something for me.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you.
I don't know how many other people were into that sort of sci-fi shows back in the 80s. You might remember that or not.
Wait, what was it called again?
Otherworld.
Otherworld. Huh.
Yes.
I don't think I've heard of that one actually.
No. It's a lesser known sci-fi show.
Yeah. And it only lasted the 8 episodes, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, was that a Canadian show or
no, American?
British. I'm sorry.
Because when the Sterling family was first arrested by Commander Kroll, the first thing that Hal did was to show him his California driver's license and other forms of identification.
Okay.
And the world or planet that they ended up on, I think, was separated into 22 provinces, or was it more than that? And each province or zone was completely independent of the other and had its own government system. Maps were prohibited, so no one in one province knew what was happening in the other provinces. The only people allowed to cross over the provinces were the zone troopers.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I know in England the seasons are very, very short, like 6 or 8 episodes, as opposed to the US, which back in the day in the US, a season was 23, 24 episodes, but maybe in the last, I don't know, 5 or 10 years, there's no real television season anymore. It's because they break it up and they take hiatuses between in the middle of a season. Yeah. But I think it ends up being still even like maybe 18 episodes in a season, unless you're talking like streaming shows. Those tend to be shorter seasons, like Netflix productions or whatever. So yeah, I was curious about that.
I mean, I grew up in England as a Whovian, Doctor Who fan.
Very short seasons.
And I can still remember seeing some of the very early episodes when William Hartnell was the original Doctor back in the 63, 64.
Yeah.
I would have been just 2 or 3 years old back then.
Yeah. I think in those original seasons, the seasons were even shorter. I want to say like 4 episodes. But well, actually the episodes were broken into much shorter parts, I guess. So
on the Doctor Who ones, quite often it was a story which ran over 4 to 6 episodes or 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, yeah.
So each episode was part 1 or part 2 or part 3 of a story. Yeah, so
Yeah, I think where I live, you could see an episode during the week, and then they do the whole story on the weekend. On Sunday afternoon, or something, you see all 4 or 6 sections of it.
Yeah.
Call it the Doctor Who special on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Whovian, and I actually recently discovered that all of the sort of rebooted series is available on HBO Max. So I finally get to see the rest of the first season with the female Doctor, and her next season as well. So because basically we downgraded our cable TV, and so I lost. I think they were showing it on BBC America, and I lost that channel. So I was never able to finish. I think it was season 11. Actually, I was only like 4 episodes in, so I feel very out of touch with Doctor Who right now. Yeah, but I prefer the traditional series anyway. Tom Baker.
Yeah, don't get out of touch.
Pluto, if you have Pluto TV, which is free, they run Doctor Who all the time. The old ones, they run in order, like back to back. They show the whole series, but all day, every day on TV, you can watch Doctor Who.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Yeah,
you're welcome.
We have that app on our Amazon Fire Stick, so I can definitely do that. Very cool.
I used to probably in the middle 80s, after the local PBS station stopped broadcasting Doctor Who, I actually was like, okay, I really want to see this. How can I see this? And it turned out there was a station, a few hours away. And this was before we had cable. So what I did was I put some aluminum foil on my mom's TV, and I was able to adjust the antenna at just that time of the day, and I still had a snow-covered picture, but I was watching Doctor Who.
That's funny. That's hardcore.
Yeah, I think it was Peter Davison, who I wasn't overly thrilled with, but it was the principle of the thing. I wanted to see Doctor Who.
Excellent.
On the subject of Doctor Who, I was looking on Etsy, and someone is selling wax seal stamps, and one actually has a picture of the TARDIS on it. So I'm seriously thinking about getting one of those.
Yeah. Very cool.
So who here remembers what the letters of the word TARDIS stands for?
I do.
I do too.
Relative distance in space.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
That's some hard ones.
Very
so
cool.
much for finishing my typing prompt. Now where's that book?
Oh. Excellent. Let me since I was able to grab them while William was reading his typing prompt, so let me make myself big here real quick, because I did receive a very, very nice, generous package from Bernardo, and he sent me this. Focus. It's not going to focus. Come on now. There we go. So it's a huge medal, and I had originally seen this on eBay, and because Bernardo got me into, he got my interest peaked in medals, and so I was just browsing around on eBay, and I saw the design of this one, and just the the design of it just really grabbed me. And I love this almost like a curtain effect where you could still see, what's behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And you have the opening there. I love that design, but it was like, I think it was going for like $56. And I was like, okay, I'm very interested in metals now, but I'm not prepared to spend $56 on one. But Bernardo very, very generously sent this to me. I assume he already had it in his collection. So thank you so much, Bernardo. This is
No,
truly
you're welcome. Sorry, I took so long to
it was
actually
worth the
send it to
wait.
you.
It was worth the wait. And he also sent me a coin.
Yeah, from the same sculptor who.
Oh, okay, yeah. 100. What's the denomination there? 100. Or what is the money called?
It's called escudo. It means
okay.
shield.
Okay. Yeah.
It's our old currency. Now we have euros, but until 2001 we had escudo.
Okay. Yeah, that's very cool. I was having a hard time focusing on that, but it's a portrait. And then
since you like that medal, and I had a coin cool. from the same woman sculptor, I thought I'd send you because you had shared that you have an interest in coin collecting. So
yeah, and actually, it's funny that you sent the coin also because I do subscribe to a subscription service called Coin and Currency Club. And every month they send you a coin and a paper bill from a different country, along with information about that country and about the money. And so yeah, there's a cool addition to that little collection I have going. So thank you for that. And then also he sent me a little instant photo of a sculpture he's working on. It's hard to make it out there, but
yeah.
Did you want to talk a little bit about that, Bernardo?
Yeah, besides medals, my passion is portraiture, both in drawing and in sculpture. So some of you know I'm halfway through my master's degree in sculpture at the Faculty of Fine Arts here in Lisbon. And yeah, I work in metals, both in research and in the process of making them myself. And then I also enjoy very much the whole process of the portraits. So yeah, that's one of my other passions.
Yeah, very cool.
I'm very glad they arrived safely. I was very surprised. I took a long time to mail them, and then I had some problems with the postal service, but once I sent it the final time, it took 3 days. So I was very glad that got there so fast. And yeah,
and you wrapped them very well, so it arrived very safely, and I was super excited to get it. So thank you so much.
Okay, let me know if you're interested in any other, and I'll see if I can find them.
Excellent, thank you.
I was very glad that one was in my collection. I was very glad that you to be able to send it to you so easily.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yes, definitely. And I see. Oh, you found the book. Yes. Let me zoom in on you here. There we go. Okay.
John Pertwee. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I have a Tom Baker book.
Yeah. Take a quick look at Angela.
Yeah, she has the TARDIS behind her.
Yeah. Oh my.
So we have John Pertwee and Fraser Hines over here. And Michael Keating. We have Michael Keating and Sally Nivette from Blake 7 over here.
Mm-hmm.
John Pertwee and Sylvester McCoy.
Oh.
Who knows who that character is?
I don't know.
This is John Pertwee as Wurzel Gummidge.
That was it, yes. The Scarecrow.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Sylvester McCoy. So, anyway.
Nothing of Sophie Aldred?
You know, I do, but I don't know where that is yet. It's like, unfortunately, all of my Doctor Who stuff was not in one pile, but all those pictures were in here. I knew where this book was. It was hard to get. This was published back in '84. It was the only thing he would personalize whenever we were going through the line back in 1990. It was the only thing he would personalize. And it's like, I'm sitting here, yes, because I worked at the public library and they were able to get me this. They were able to find this through what, at the time, this is in the mid 80s. There was no internet. I really don't know how they found it. It was obscure and a low print run. And
wow.
I'm very happy to have it. And it's just, it was published, I think, in 1984. And I have the other book that he wrote right before he passed away. Don't ask. That one might be on the shelf as well. But unfortunately, a year into the move, I am still quite disorganized as far as everything goes. But yeah, I don't see it right off the top of my head, but I know it's here somewhere.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and we have Angela standing outside the TARDIS.
TARDIS, yeah.
We have Brian sitting inside the TARDIS. The old school.
Oh, cool.
I have a lot of books, don't get me wrong, but they're just scattered in various places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a collection of the little mass markets. The little
do you?
Yeah. But those are quick reads. They're like maybe 150 pages or even less. They're very short novels.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have not. It's like I finally unpacked the boxes a couple weeks ago, but not everything has found its home yet. Let's just put it that way. And it's just going to take me time to get everything to its place. So
yeah,
that one was one that, if I ever had to grab one book in case of a disaster, that would be it.
Now, Brian, I have to ask you, does Koa get lost in the TARDIS?
I just ring the cloister bell when it's time for dinner and he comes over, finds his way through.
That's funny.
I can see that's a first generation TARDIS.
Yeah.
Before it is.
Can anyone tell me what model TARDIS the Doctor had?
Oh, I don't remember.
That looks like the basic model before it has regenerated.
The Type 40?
Type 40 is correct.
Oh.
Oh my.
Brian and Diane win as the head Whovians.
Sounds like it.
There was at my school for Spirit Week. There was one day there was Superhero Day. Dress as your favorite superhero. I dressed as Tom Baker, Doctor Who. I had a friend who had the hat, and her grandmother had made her like a 30-foot scarf. And the whole thing, I got some jelly babies in my pocket, little bag.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knew who I was. Nobody got it. I had fun.
I used to get the jelly babies. There was a store, Cost Plus World Market, that used to carry them. And I had bought them a few times, and then I happened to look at the ingredients and realize that they're not vegetarian friendly, so I had to stop getting them. Yeah, but that's okay. I had fun with them while I was able to eat them. Yeah. So, you have postcards also? Oh, Doctor Who postcards. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, you better sign up for the Postcard Exchange. Today's the last
Yeah,
day.
but I've never opened these.
Well, you need to now because I want one.
They're no fun in the box. That's no fun.
Yeah. They're not going to gain in value.
No, that's true. So do you know which episode they got rid of the original TARDIS console afterwards?
Ooh, I don't know.
This one's more for Brian.
I know, huh?
I'm thinking about it. I wonder if it's like the Key to Time, if it's like the Key to Time.
Mm-mm. No, it was Inferno.
Ah, you got me there.
Yeah, that was one of those 7-parters.
Oh, okay.
of John Pertwee's episodes seem to run like that for some reason.
Yeah. Very cool. Let's see. Does anyone else have a typing prompt or?
Yeah, I've got one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go for it, Craig.
Okay, it was love at first sight when I turned on the TV. When I was a very young boy, there was a commercial that was on TV. It started with an elderly gentleman walking on a white sand beach. The next scene, he was on a patio that overlooked the beach with mountains in the background. The patio had a table and some chairs around it. Sitting on the table was a typewriter. It was so beautiful. Now, the commercial was not about the typewriter. As I recall, it was for Rolex. But all I could see was the typewriter. The elderly gentleman was Ernest Hemingway. I knew that he was a famous author, and the typewriter was his tool for writing such wonderful books that I hadn't read yet at that time. If only I had a typewriter, I thought. I could write wonderful books as well. We had a Remington Quiet Writer that was in a case that sat in the front closet. I asked if I could write my wonderful books. The answer was no. If only I had that machine to write on, I would be famous of a writer as Ernest Hemingway. As I got older, I was allowed to use the typewriter. Now I could write my famous books. As I sat down to proceed to write, I soon discovered that using the machine wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. I would hunt and peck my way through, and after about an hour, I had 4 lines typed. This was going to take me forever. Fast forward to today. I still have not written that famous book, or any other for that matter, but my typing is much faster. Mind you, maybe not more accurate, but nevertheless faster. When I see a typewriter on TV, I still remember that commercial. I don't always remember what the content is, but I do remember typewriters. That's it.
Excellent. Very good.
Thanks.
Very cool. Let's see here. Well, I do have, I wrote down a couple of notices I need to make. Well, first of all, I mentioned earlier, I'm very excited that we're up to 70 members. And I'm looking forward to getting to the point which will be 100 members when we have to upgrade my account. So, and because of the generosity of everybody, that is more than covered. So thank you very, very, very much for your generosity. That will keep us going for a while. And let's see here. So we also have the Postcard Exchange. Today's the last day to sign up for the Postcard Exchange. The names will be sent out, or the matches will be sent out tomorrow, sometime tomorrow, probably after I get off of work. So if you do want to participate, and I think we have 9 people signed up right now.
Is that on the website that we sign up on the website?
Yeah, typepals.com/events, and it's as of today the second event down, and you just register for it, and then you'll be entered. So And last month was a ton of fun. So I think it went over very well. Yeah. So go ahead.
I got a message via Typewriter from Emily Tillman saying that she received my postcard 2 days ago. So it took its time getting there.
Oh, yeah. Hey, as long as it makes it eventually, though, that's what matters.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So if you do want to participate, today's the day to do it. And then the last announcement, and it's kind of unfortunate, but the next 2 weeks, we're not going to have a meeting. So on the 25th of this month, my wife and we just basically a free hotel stay ended up falling in our laps, so we had to make use of it. So
Absolutely.
we're gonna be down in San Diego for 3 days.
Cool.
Who knows? Maybe we'll meet up with Care. I don't know. And then on August 1st, there's a Type Pals related opportunity that I don't know if Brian wants to mention it or not, but so Brian is going to be in Riverside. So, well, he's going to be in the general area, and he's hoping to make the trip up to Riverside, which would be amazing. So I'm going to keep that day open to be able to meet Brian if at all possible. So yeah.
That sounds really good. Invite me along, Greg.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I just invited myself. Unless you guys have something non-Bob planned, but no, that sounds like a lot of fun.
I'm not sure. You're muted, Brian.
Brian's got the mute on.
Yeah.
Okay, I just signed up to the Postcard Exchange, so.
Yay!
Did I?
Let's see.
Brian's still muted.
Yeah.
Brian's decided his good looks are good.
Oh, there we go.
I got it. No, I was gonna say I'll definitely be there. We're gonna try to be there early Sunday morning in time for this. And then yeah, I'm up for whatever. That's good. And I was saying, oh, Ted, you could come over and we could all hang out in Riverside.
Riverside?
Here's my way of harassing Ted because I live in the same town and we never see each other.
Well, we don't live in the same town. I live in Mesa. Well, you live in Phoenix.
I live in Buckeye.
Buckeye. See, that's like
suburb of Phoenix.
We're in Metro Phoenix.
That's like Rhode Island.
Yeah, you might as well live in Peoria. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, Metro Phoenix is all one big city. It's like 600 square miles. It's crazy.
Freaking huge.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be great, Brian. Yeah, it'll be great to meet you and hang out and have a good time. I'm in.
Cool.
I'm definitely in. When are you going down to San Diego, Gregory?
The 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Very cool.
Good yeah. So, yeah. And it's somewhere we've stayed before. Basically, my wife's best friend has a timeshare, and sometimes they're not able to use the time. So, and they had already signed up for it. So, we're going to use it for them.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, I'm going to look for typewriters down there.
Oh, yeah.
That goes without saying, but yeah. Yeah, so I think that's it for the little announcements there. Oh, she just stepped away. I was gonna say hi, Sarah.
Ta-da!
There she is.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay, I'm still waking up here, trying to get my coffee going.
Okay.
Sounds like lots of cool stuff is happening, so that's fantastic.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
Good. Definitely good.
Good.
Anything new in your world?
No, actually, I sent my son to a blacksmithing camp all week, so he made some cool things, but it has nothing to do with typewriters.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, no, that's very important. I get to blacksmith typewriter parts all the time, Sarah. So
really?
Good for him. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
I enjoy a good forge in front of me. I don't have one at my house. I go to my buddy's house. He's got a little conglomerate called Coke and Clinker. anyways, he's a few miles away, but yeah, I don't get to forge part. A lot of times for me, it's bending stock back into shape where I want it, you know, for motorcycle parts. Anyways, good for you. That skills like that are going to be extremely important throughout his life. Learning to work with metal, all the things. I took 4 years of metal shop. That really is my problem, right? So I got to do a lot of that. I know. I'm sure a lot of the rest of us did too. Good for you. It looks like you made some cool stuff too. You had a good time.
Yeah. He made a butter knife and a hook, and I signed him up for a bladesmithing class next. So, you know, it's tough because he's 12 years old and it's hard to get him to do anything. And, you know, it's always like, oh, I don't want to, I'd rather stay home. You know, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to do something to get this boy, you know, motivated and interested in, you know, have something that's special that he can do and that he can be proud of. So I'm really thrilled. There's this cool school just literally like 3 blocks from us called School of Visual Philosophy. And they do, you know, they have this huge forge workshop where you can do metal smithing. And then you also have like clay, like sculpture and all kinds of cool art types of, you know, screen printing classes and stuff. And I just really didn't even know about it. I found out about it through a friend of mine who I went to go buy a typewriter from once, ended up not buying the machine, and then discovering that she was an artist and a collector. And then we started spending Sundays together, like hanging out, and I taught her how to clean and fix machines. So it is actually connected vaguely to all of this. But yeah, my friend Efred Shahar is this wonderful artist in Campbell. And she said, oh yeah, if your son wants to do that, there's this great place that does, you know, blacksmithing. You should check it out. So luckily there was a camp this week and he got to go. And I think he was proud of himself in his subtle 12-year-old way. I mean, he wasn't like fighting back. He wasn't moaning and complaining a lot. So, you know, and each day he felt like a little more confident. And he's like, oh, Mom, it's too hard for you and Charlotte. You guys would hate it. It's like hot and you have to stand up for 2 hours and your body gets sore and you're like hammering and, you know, and I thought, oh yeah, he loves it.
Yeah.
So
very
yeah.
There's actually a seller on Etsy. I bought a couple letter openers from him, and they're basically, you know, hammered metal. So it's something that he would probably do in that workshop there. So
yeah, that's a fantastic idea. Maybe I'll ask him to make something like that. I mean, you know, they say all the young men want to go and make a sword, but you got to kind of walk before you run. And at least I'm learning to be safe.
A letter opener is essentially a little knife. So
you're right. It's a tiny sword. Oh my gosh.
There you go.
I've seen letter openers at antique stores that are shaped like swords. You could make it with a little.
That's totally true. Oh my God. You just found the gateway, the gateway metal.
Well, there's definitely a lot to it. I won't get on my high horse too much, but unfortunately, I know from Gregory's generation, our generation, we were taught that you can either go into the trades or you can go into business, and there'd be more money in business. Well, I've learned there's a lot more money in the trades. That's where I went. I started business with the trades, and because I had the ability to offer someone something in that regard, they were happy to pay me. These days, I'm sure I make more money than most people who sit around in a suit and tie in front of a computer. So I'm really confused by our generation's idea of go into business. You know, wear a suit and tie. There's more money in that. Don't go into the trades. You'll get your hands dirty. Well, I don't know. My dirty hands have done just fine for me. So there's always going to be that. And we ended up with, I want to say, men who are my age who do not get their hands dirty because they thought there was something wrong. They thought there was not money in it. And that's what we were taught when we were younger. So there's no shame in that. We were taught that. But at the end of the day, we end up with the next generation, younger people who can't or don't know or don't see. My son tells me all the time his friends thinks he's really weird because he plays with wrenches with his dad on the weekend, right? So apparently
he's lucky that he gets to do that because yeah, definitely my son's generation, the same thing. It's like
this stuff in the museum in Riverside, California.
Everybody's just playing video games, and my son is fantastic at video games, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's played all the levels of so many things, and he's kind of bored because his friends can't compete with him. And I want him to have something else. You know, his dad's a software engineer, which is awesome. And, you know, when he goes to visit his dad, he gets to learn some programming and stuff, and that's cool. But I would really love for him to have other stuff that he can do with his hands that he can be proud of. And, you know, I think in his generation particularly, they're going to have a lot of people that are just sitting at their computer and that's all they know how to do.
And that's how we've come up with those maker spaces in the last 10 years. Who would have thought there would have ever been a place other than the home garage or business or shop where people would pay to learn to use tools, right? We've got a maker space here in Riverside. It's called Vocademy. Anyway, very, very good for you. I wish more young people did that. My son gets to play in our backyard, so that's his, that's his vocational schooling. So
oh yeah, totally. I mean, that's fantastic that you do that with him. I think more kids need to. We're just lucky that we discovered it. It's been here. I just didn't really know about it, and you know, for me to get him to do it was, of course, a challenge because I said, "Oh, are you interested in this class?" And he's like, "No, I'd rather hang out with my friends." But his friends are all in camp right now, so he's just going to sit at home. And I said, "Well, you know, it'd be a great opportunity for you." It's like, "I just want to do it at home on my own." And I said, "Well, if you want to work with fire, man, you got to get some good training." So, there's a 2-hour safety course. I don't want to do it. I said, "Well, too bad." I mean, I said, "Look, I'm not going to make you do it, but I think it'd be pretty rad if you did." So.
Oh, it's important. I don't have many friends that can do this. Look at all these digits. They're all still there. They all still work. This is very rare where I come from. Safety course is important.
I was telling him in high school, we had shop class, but they sort of phased that out because all of our teachers were missing digits. So, you know, to have it something that a 12-year-old can go do where they're working with 2,200 degrees of heat, and the teachers are telling them, assume every piece of metal is hot enough to burn you. I mean, that's pretty fantastic. And I'm like, I'm going to spend this $350 to have you learn this thing, and it's going to be well worth it. So,
agreed.
You know, yeah.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Like, thank God he actually did it and didn't fight me on this. So I'm, you know, he's bigger and taller than me, and I just can't you know, there's not much I can do anymore to kind of be, I don't know. Anyway, you get what I'm saying.
Yes. Right. I get it. We get it. Good for you. Well done, Mom.
Thanks. Hopefully he loves me enough that he won't ever hurt me with any of these weapons he's about to create. He told me he wouldn't. He's like, "Oh, I wouldn't hurt you, Mom." I said, "Good, and don't hurt yourself either."
Well, you're right. Hammers hurt more people than guns do every year, I think. So who knows? You know, hammers are. I'm always worried about my tools. I mean, I work in it's not uncommon for me. There you go.
That's beautiful, Diane.
Wow.
Well done, Diane. That's a good one.
I bought this in Las Vegas many years in the 90s sometime whenever I was there. So it's nothing that I made.
That's so cool.
Now, is that an actual knife or is it a letter opener?
It is a letter opener.
Oh, okay.
As is this. This is a letter opener I got the last time we had Herman's in person. This was the award for the typing contest. So it's American Chestnut, but as you can see, it has holes in it from some worm infestation that was had at the time, and there are no American Chestnut is apparently extinct. So the fact that that there's any of these around, this came from a person who I guess local to Herman, I guess there is an artist or something who works with it, and so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think wormy chestnut's actually a thing. Like people actually look for the wormholes in that.
Really?
Yeah, I think
they
so.
do. I thought they looked for the ones that didn't have it.
It's beautiful. I mean, you can put like jewels in there. You could like put little metal embellishments. There's so much stuff you could do with it. It's awesome.
Yeah, one's actually on the edge, so it's like sometimes that's on the letter opening side. It's like
yeah. What a cool prize though.
Wow.
Yeah, I use it regularly for these. I finally found this one. This one had been packed away, and it just took, like I said, it's like with everything else. Yeah, it's there, but it had been still packed away, and I recently found this. And so I'm like, cool. I've been wondering where that is. And it's like with everything else, it's like I get my mind focused on one thing, and I'm like, where the heck is that? I know where it was, but I don't know which box it's in. And that's been part of the let's get rid of the stupid packing boxes. But I'm to the point where I have to put some of the stuff away to actually get to the remainder of the boxes, because they're like really high up on some shelves and I can't reach them without putting a step stool there. And the step stool, you can't reach the boxes for the pile of books that's in front of it right now. So
yeah, it's a struggle for sure. Anytime you move, it takes a lot of time. Don't be too hard on yourself. At least you've got, your typewriters and your other cool stuff to keep you occupied.
Oh, those came over first, and I brought those over. I did not relegate those.
Oh, the cat muted you.
Yeah, at least on this PC, the cat cannot put me into airplane mode. On my work PC, the cat walks across my computer and puts me into airplane mode.
By the way, at the end of the month, we're going to be cat sitting 9 cats. So.
Gregory, where is this happening?
Unfortunately, it's happening at their house, not ours.
I was going to say that would be really surprising for your dog.
Yeah. So,
well, good for you. I just love how everybody is kind to animals on this show. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And actually, that's the couple that are giving us the timeshare for the weekend. So it all works out.
Yeah, totally. I've done some pet sitting gigs where I got to take care of like chickens and even a scorpion once.
Oh no.
I know, like all kinds of crazy stuff. We have a friend that basically has a zoo in their house, so I used to be their regular pet sitter. It was fun though, you learn a lot.
Yeah. I could do birds and dogs and cats and fish.
Yeah.
And probably rodents, but that would be it. No spiders. I could do lizards actually. I like lizards, but not snakes.
Yeah, lizards are okay. We took care of some frogs, and like they were hatchlings and stuff, and helped with all that too. And praying mantises, that was fun. Yeah. But no, spiders are off the list for sure.
Arachnids.
And with the scorpion, you just have to take like a blue light, those ones that, or a black light, I'm sorry. You just shine it around in the cage until you see it glowing. And you stay way back, and then you like spritz it with water, food in, and run away.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was interesting, but
no. Wow. Well, it's good to see you again, Sarah.
You too. Thank you so much.
So, Sarah, one quick question. Yes. On your entry on the registry, it says that you are not accepting pen pals.
Oh,
do I have your permission to write you one letter?
Certainly. It's just that I'm not. It's just that I've discovered since I started my new job a couple months ago that I'm really bad at replying to letters now. And so I feel bad about it, and I don't want to set an expectation. I still owe Curry Russell a letter. I owe Bill Guthrie a letter. I think I owe Eric a letter. And I just started to feel like maybe I was getting in over my head with what I could actually do, because I type for a living. So
yes.
So
like bringing work home.
Yeah, I'm actually now I'm a legal transcriptionist. I used to be a medical transcriptionist, but now I transcribe like witness interviews and 911 calls for the DA office. So for high profile cases that are basically like they were in the news maybe a year ago or some months ago, and now there's a huge investigation going on. So they'll gather like the body worn cameras and stuff, and they'll have witness interviews at the police station, and I'll be transcribing that stuff. And sometimes even viewing the crime scene from the camera of the officers. And so it's like emotionally and physically taxing. And by the end of my day, there's not a lot of room left for me to type letters, and I need to get better about it. But that's why I wrote that on there. But please, you can write to me, of course. Just know that if I don't write back, it's not because I don't like you guys or because I don't care or even appreciate the effort you took. It's just that my brain is full. I have to sometimes take a little break.
Oh yeah.
I hear you. Sometimes after a full week of fixing small engines and that sort of stuff, the last thing I want to do is get more mechanicking on a typewriter.
Yeah. The thing is, I love if I have a couple of days off work, I find that I'm starting to sort of itch to type again. So that's good. I was worried that I was losing my, whatever. Yeah. But, coming down from the types of days that I have sometimes can be a little tough. And I mean, I even dream about my work at night. So I'm still working on kind of coping with that and finding a way to separate myself and get back into my hobbies too. So I'll get there. I'm just not quite there yet.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. But you can write to me. I just, may never write back this year.
No rush in getting back to me, Sarah.
Oh, thank you, Eric. I love your letters and the stationery and the beautiful fountain pens and how you write which one it is at the bottom. That's made me want to get into fountain pens too. So yeah, always appreciated and treasured when I receive letters from you guys.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Hello to Natasha. No, I'm sorry, Kara. We'll get to you in a moment, Natasha. But hi, Kara. How are you? I see you hard at work. Oh no, I think you don't have sound.
Only on this.
There we go.
Only on this Zoom, and I hope springs eternal, and I always try.
I know.
Because I can hear you guys, and I check the preferences. Oh well.
Oh.
Okay, then you don't not hearing me swearing at the thing. That's the Eatons that I got last week that I'm that was supposedly like clean and in perfect condition, and it needed a new ribbon and it needs the slugs cleaned, and it's kind of, I think the guy got it and said, wow, this is in really good shape. I don't have to do anything to it. And he didn't really look at it. So he did not get a shining review from me on Etsy, but he got an honest review. Anyway.
Yeah.
Did I hear that you're coming to San Diego?
Yes, the 23rd through the 25th.
That's what I said, Care. Hit him up.
So who knows,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. If you wanna get together or anything, be happy to, you can come over and see my typewriters. I don't know any places to look for typewriters here, or I would set you up, because I mostly do like offer up and and I wasn't here that long before a pandemic hit, and then and a lot of places I think have closed. Like some of the thrift stores and stuff have closed down. Places that I knew about that other people told me. So, but maybe you'll find something cool. I don't know.
Yeah, well, my wife and I like to go antiquing, so that would probably be the most likely option.
Cool.
Because I don't really hold out hope for thrift stores in California. So,
well, I was thinking too, Care. If you wanted to talk Gregory into bringing a machine down to you, you could try that.
I was just thinking that. Do you think it was ready?
What's that?
So it's all Bob's fault. So remember at the museum, my wife was trying out the SG1, and now she's like, I want a Danielle Steele machine for my birthday. And I'm like, okay. So I was like, okay, I'll have to see what I can find. And then she said, well, talk to Bob first because it's his fault. I was like, okay. So I talked to Bob and I was like, we need an SG1, like the one that's yours at the museum. And he's like, well, that one's for sale. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, if we could talk Gregory into bringing it down, if it's ready by then that's probably easier than pulling into your driveway in our moving van on the way up in a few weeks.
There you go.
These are things you just got to make sure Gregory's up for it, but I can get the machine to him. He's just right down the street. So
all right. Well,
it's a big underground favor.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I'll give him the KHT with the sticky D key to bring to you. And then who knows? Maybe I'll be with you and you'll be, yeah.
Sounds great.
So
That SG1 is now my favorite machine. I absolutely love mine. It's still out on the desk. I'm not going to move it anywhere. I use it all the time.
yeah, it's gonna. That was my wife's thing. She said, yeah, I want to have it out on my desk because we're figuring out because when we move, there'll be more space and she won't have to have her work computers on her actual desk. And, she's got a big solid oak, 6 feet wide kind of thing where that has a slide out thing for, anyway.
It really is one of my favorite machines just to leave up. Yeah, I really, and I've done some great, I've probably written 400 pages on that machine. It works very well. So I'm very excited to have it over to you.
Yeah, well, that's nice. And now we have the provenance of it came from Bob. It came from the Bob.
I'm not sure that's worth anything, but I appreciate that. You're very sweet.
A lot of my machines, when I ask people what's the backstory on it, it's something like it belonged to my father-in-law and my wife told me to get rid of it.
Right.
So I don't have a lot of information on some of these machines. I'm like, okay, do you know what he did for a living? It's like we're at the Costco food court and here it is. I'm like, okay, thanks.
I have to tell you guys my story about the SG1. The first letter I wrote on it after I got done was I wrote the guy that I got it from down in Norfolk, Nebraska. And I wrote to him that when I got there, I was ready to leave the money under the doormat and leave the machine there. I was so disgusted with it when I picked it up and how happy I was when I was done with it. So I hope he realizes that it was pretty messy. Maybe he should be a little more thorough in his descriptions when he sells something. But it took a great deal of joy to write that letter to him on that machine.
Nice.
I got it working now.
That's good that it worked out. Definitely.
Oh, I wanted to say hi. I got a letter from a friend of mine who's also a typewriter person, Mr. Random, if you're watching this, and he said he watches Typewriter Pals sometimes and he sees me on sometimes. So, and this friend of mine, so he's in Eugene, and I have a great story about writing letters. We've been pen pals a long time, and he's one of the people that got me into typewriters more rapidly. And so we would write to each other, but he lived 5 blocks away from me. And we would write to each other almost every week or so, or very, very frequently, every couple of weeks. So we would write back and forth, even that we might see each other, in between, but we were dedicated to writing to each other. We had the same mail carrier. Her name was Leslie, right? And after a while, so she would go to his house and pick up a letter mail, and then she'd be delivering it to me a couple of days later, and then she'd pick up a letter for him from my house, and she started putting it together. And one day she came to the gate and she's like, I have some mail for you from your pen pal, from Ken. And I was like, so was that answer the question of, do they in fact read who the letters are from and to? They do. And I was like, wow. So she just was she thought it was hilarious that we were writing to each other from 5 blocks away. And I opened the letter and the first sentence was, I think the mail carrier is on to us. I was like, yep, she is. And mail carrier, because she delivered a couple of typewriters, big heavy boxes, and I'm like, tomorrow I'll show you what's in there. And I would go running out and show her the new typewriter and stuff. And then she started texting me. She would be at a yard sale and she's texting me pictures of typewriters at yard sales in the neighborhood. And I thought, this is borderline stalker, but thank you. Anyway.
Oh, that's so funny.
And I'm going to go pick up another typewriter table today for no good reason. I told Jules that she could have my sturdiest typewriter table for the one.
Okay.
And I was like, well, that means I can go pick up this other one for $20. I have 4. Anyway.
Nice.
That's all my typewriter info.
All righty. Well, it's good to see you.
It's nice to see you, and we'll be in touch about SG1.
Yes, definitely. And Natasha, how are you?
Hi, Natasha.
How are you?
Good.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Everyone.
Very good.
I want to say thank you to Angela. She sent me a pen pal letter, and I'm in the process. I'm going to respond to her. I've been on the road. Like right now, I'm at my son's apartment. I visited my mom that I hadn't seen in over a year due to COVID. And so
I'm on season 2 of The Saint now.
Say what now?
I'm on season 2 of The Saint now.
Are you? Do you like it?
Yeah,
I mean,
I do. It's fun.
Too, so it's fun to watch. I mean, I know it's corny at times, but I'm in love with him. I'm sorry. I watch. I've seen every episode like 3 or 4 times each. So,
What platform are you watching it on?
Well, I watched it on Amazon Prime.
I think I'm watching on the Roku channel.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't have either of those. I'll have to find it. I love that show. I remember watching it, but it was usually like on an old TV station or something.
Or YouTube. YouTube has it for free before they cut the channel off. If the channel, if you catch that, they'll cut them off and they have to build a new channel.
If you have a Roku TV, Roku channel's free.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, cool. I have to look it.
So yeah, Angela, I'm in the middle of writing your letter, and I just finished the type prompt. And I want to ask Mr. William if he received my letter, because I'm so worried about that letter. Is Mr. William still there?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I just unmuted myself. Yes, I haven't received it yet. So I'm not sure what's happening.
Yeah, because it did come back to me, and then I resent it with some more cents, some more stamps.
Postage.
And put some more postage, and there you go. So I hope you get it. If not, I'm going to rewrite it, which is sad because, of course, I don't remember everything I wrote. I'm going to have to start using carbon paper. That'll be a lesson.
Well, I guess that's one thing I do is whenever I've typed a letter, I always scan it to PDF and then load it on my hard drive, so that when I get a reply letter, I can bring out the PDF copy of what I last wrote, and then what the letter I got then makes more sense. Then I can reply to the letter without repeating myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always curious.
Starting from here. I mean, I got to start doing that, and got to do better with that. I was gonna say something else, but I forgot.
No, Angela says $1.20 for international postage. I was thinking it was $1, but maybe not.
No, $1.20 US, unless you get the international forever stamps.
See, I got forever.
That's what I got.
Put like 3 forevers on there, and they said that.
And those are $1.20.
Are they? Okay.
Going up. They're talking about raising that price later this year.
Oh,
if
wow.
That got I don't know. Yeah.
I know that a standard letter up to 30 grams from here to the US is $1.30, and to England is $1.71. That's Canadian. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now I want to mention too, it's a shame. I hope you get it, because what I do with each person that sends me a pen pal letter, I've started sending back like a piece of free stationery with it. And it's random. I just pick one, I don't know, like with Curry, because, I made a beer reference. I think I read something where, about beer. So I sent him a free sticker and free stationery, I think, or was it just a sticker? I don't remember. He'll have to tell. But I send something for free with each pen pal letter. So
that's such a wonderful idea. I like that you're doing that. That's cool.
Very generous.
Yeah, very kind.
People actually use it. I think Eric Mondo told me he used his. If he's still there, I think.
Yeah,
but,
he is.
I send it to everybody. I love doing that. I mean, that's the whole point of me buying the stationery. Like this right here. This is one example here. Like the old Westin hotels.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I send a free piece with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess what I've taken to doing is the difference between stationery and stationery is that is to enunciate the in stationary as opposed to sitting there being stationary.
Now, Natasha, did you get my most recent letter already, or?
I got yours. I got a letter from you, but I don't know if that's your most recent. What date was it? Like, was it July 9th? Because I sent one back.
Yeah, it might have been. I used new sealing wax on it and a new onion skin paper. So I think I included a sheet of it too, but I can't remember. Maybe I didn't. But yeah, I was just curious because I was using new sealing wax, and it's not. I don't think it's the supple kind, so I'm just wondering, how it holds up going through the postal system.
I got your second letter, so would that be the third one?
I don't remember. It would have been typed on onion skin though, because it was a new paper that I was talking about that I got on Etsy.
I didn't get that then.
You haven't gotten it yet. Okay.
I haven't gotten it yet. No. If it was a new paper, I didn't get it yet.
Eric, I was going to tell you, I got the one that had the sealing wax on it, and it held up beautifully. I couldn't believe it.
Awesome.
Normally, if my mom sends me something with sealing wax, it's like crumpled apart and it doesn't hold up. And it's just coming from Ashland, Oregon. But yours was completely intact. I was blown away. I don't know how you did it. And it was specially folded and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember if the last letter that I wrote to you was on the Herbin supple wax, or if it was the new kind that I was using. The Herbin one is more like a burgundy color, and the new one that I was using, I feel, is a little bit more of like a red orange.
Oh, okay. I think it was the burgundy one.
Okay.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Because I've sent that one, and like sometimes people will get it and it's like completely smushed, and then other times it'll come like completely intact. So
yeah, I was surprised it didn't say like non-machinable or something. It worked fine. So maybe it was just the fold of the letter and the luck of the draw, just to lie on the paper. But yeah, it was cool. Thank you.
Yeah, very cool.
So, Mr. William, what I'm gonna do, if you don't receive it by the next time we meet or whatever, I'm gonna rewrite your letter. I gotta rewrite it because I really enjoyed reading your letter, and I said, I want to learn more of your story. You don't bore me at all. I want to know more.
That's the best compliment. You don't bore me at all.
Watch out, you're gonna end up in one of her books.
You're gonna what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a hint, sir. In a way, you already are. Before I read the letter, before you read it, before you sent that letter, your story was a story. You understand what I'm saying? That I'd already formulated. It's in The Actor and the Secretary that I wrote. But you'll see it. I hope you get that letter. It's so important that you do. It was eerie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, looking forward to it.
Also, William, I feel bad. I did get the email that you sent through Typewriter, and I didn't respond, and I don't want you to think that I was just ignoring you. I'm really bad at getting back to emails.
Well, I say we're all most of us here are still working people, and work gets in the way of fun.
Yeah, family.
Yeah. I mean, excuse me. I mean, I've now been in business for myself for 21 years, and I'm starting to get tired. And so what I'm seriously thinking of doing is to look at using the next couple of years to wind my business down. Like, if I were to quit cold turkey, it would be unfair to my customers. Because I have probably well over 1,200 customers from around the area who all rely upon me to keep their lawnmowers, string trimmers, chainsaws, rototillers, generators, grain auger engines, all that sort of stuff running. And so, yeah, I'm gonna have to sort of wind it down slowly, and then if someone wants to buy the business, all well and good. If they don't, well, I'll just sell all the parts, all the stock, and all the inventory on eBay, piece by piece.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sounds like you need an apprentice. Do you have someone working for you?
What I've tried in the past is tried hiring a summer student. But you start with a summer student. Your production slow his way down because he happened to basically hold his hand to show him this, show him that. And then it takes 2 or 3 months to get a summer student up to speed. And then the time he's up to speed, he goes back to school again. So you start again the next year and it slows you down. If I had my very first summer student was actually my little brother with the Big Brothers program. And he was dynamite. He had a learning, his brain was like a sponge. He could just pick up anything. And I don't know if you've ever had it, but you're trying to explain something to or teach somebody something, and they get it, and you can almost see the light come on in their head. Yeah, that happened a few times with Tyler. He was a great kid. We're still friends. Him and his sibling, his brother, were actually ushers at Julian and my wedding. And then I was a guest of honor at his wedding when he married my best man's daughter. He now has a 10-year-old son, Dominic, and he's an absolute bundle of energy. And we're still good friends after all the. Well, I was first matched with Tyler in 2000. I think it was. So we have been friends for 21 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not longer. No, it's longer than that because I was still working at the John Deere dealership. So we have been friends for 25 plus years.
Wow.
Well, me and
maybe find some middle-aged person that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, me and my best friend are celebrating 40 years of friendship this year.
Wow.
8 and she was 4 when I met. So
Wow.
we're going to try to figure out some way to commemorate that because my uncle still stays in the original home that we met at.
Wow.
So I want to plan something where we go back there because I'm in Little Rock now. This is where this is my home state and city. So I'm going to talk to her about possibly we just stand in front of there with our friends and stuff and we just talk about old times or something. We'll celebrate that way. So
yeah, for sure.
I haven't told her yet, but yeah. Oh, and let me show y'all which typewriter I brought to Little Rock with.
Yeah.
It's my son's room, so bear with me. He was so nice to let us stay in his room. It's like a hotel. He had food and everything.
Nice.
But that's my baby, the new one I got. If you can see it pretty well.
Did you get the gunk out?
The which one?
That one. I remember you said that it had a lot of gunk.
Oh, yes, I got all the gunk out, but it took a lot of work. It took brake cleaner. It took everything, but it runs like a dream now.
That's awesome. Good for you.
It's fabulous now. So
such a handsome machine.
And she's my most favorite now. And the keys are. I mean, it's such a simple machine though. It's been labeled a black only. Because you have to flip it to, it doesn't have to switch for the red and black and all that. I mean, but I can flip the thing over, it's just on. But that's what I've been doing, but it doesn't even have tabs.
So is that a leader then?
Yeah. Say what now, I'm sorry?
Is that an Underwood leader?
Leader, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Leader was the absolute, very basic model. No touch control, no tab, no bichrome. I don't even think it has a right margin stop. It'll ding the bell, but it'll keep going.
Oh wow!
It'll keep going. Yeah.
So the name doesn't fit then.
Leader, yeah. No, I was like, how is it a leader?
Yeah, that's funny.
A leader in the prize competition.
Yeah, there you go.
Reverse psychology, which is funny. We wouldn't use any of that stuff today, margins and tabs and whatnot for basic letter writing, or half that stuff doesn't work on the machines I have in my writing space, and I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me.
That's why she's my fave. I mean, it doesn't bother me that it doesn't have it. I don't much use them anyway, unless I'm in the middle of a story. It's kind of important then. I just use another typewriter. But I mean, other than that, just writing pen pal letters and fun and travel. This is it.
Does that one have the degree key on it?
Yes, it does. I love that.
So those are
the typewriters have that. Zero of my other typewriters have that.
those are great for if you're writing home or writing pen pal letters and talking about the weather and temperature.
Yeah, see, that's why.
Yeah.
And it's got the exclamation point too. Thing, yeah, it's got the exclamation on it.
Yep.
No number one, but it's got an exclamation over the equal sign.
Just use a lowercase l.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and write more nonfiction, Natasha. You don't have to do so much dialogue. That's just
Yeah, you're right. But I'm proposing another nonfiction book for Memphis and Infrared. So we'll see what happens there. He's gonna the guy, my publisher, is building a proposal for me. So we'll see.
exciting. Yeah, good for you. Hope that goes well, or it
Thank
goes
you.
the way you want it to go.
Right.
Goes the way that's best for you. Right.
Thank you.
Can I digress?
Yes, you may.
Yeah.
I was just going to let everyone know that Koa is here, but the TARDIS's chameleon circuit is hiding.
Oh, okay.
Can I digress back to Doctor Who, since
Which model of TARDIS is that, Brian?
Inspired me to go
this is
find my books.
Oh, my.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice. So well done.
Here you go. Here you go, Greg.
I had a huge crush on her.
I got my son a little toy Dalek for his room.
Nice.
And some cards and stuff. And he loves that show. Awesome.
Now, who remembers the original spelling of Daleks?
Is it Dalek?
Nope.
I don't know.
Kaled.
Nope.
No, that was the reverse of it.
Yeah.
The original spelling of Daleks in the William Hartnell one was Dalex.
What?
It
Yeah.
was?
That's going back to the early 1960s. The Dalek, Dalex.
Cool. That kind of makes sense, actually. Yeah. Cool.
I'm not sure how this is showing up, but I'm gonna go through the whole 50 years
cool.
here. What?
All five doctors.
Oh, boy.
Now there's
Does anyone remember Davros? You know who Davros is?
Yes, Stavros. He was the person who created the Daleks.
Right. I made a meme a while ago that said, a picture of Davros and says ran with scissors. Because his eyes are both poked out.
Oh, God.
Nobody got it.
I think our profiles on Type Pals need to include the old shows we're interested in, because we're suddenly finding all these new.
Yeah. I had no idea how much overlap there was between typewriters and Doctor Who. It's like,
what did I start here? What did I start?
Oh, I don't know. Here's this. How's this, William?
I don't know this.
Played the break here.
Old one. Yeah.
Let's read Stuart.
Here is the other book I was referring to.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, there isn't John Pertwee.
Yeah, it came out like 12 days after he died. Meaning he just finished it, and so it was really cool. These other books are not really. They're just kind of things that you would see. But it's all the class, if you want to call it the classic, the original, whatever.
The 80s.
The 80s, yeah.
The good old days.
And somewhere, and I can't think where, and I'm not going to go dig. I know I have a thick book about the 50th anniversary, but it's not it's already in. I just don't know where. But anyway, there's a book called the Killer Cartoon Book. It was all generated when I think the Macintoshes were just coming out, and it's a cheesy little book about yay big, and it's got some really cheesy jokes in it, but it's all Doctor Who, and it's all late Tom. I think it's really all late Tom Baker stuff. I'll have to try and find it sometime, but not now. I do have a typing prompt finally.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, go for it. And then after you, we'll do Natasha.
What?
And then let's just hope the cat doesn't walk across the keyboard and mute you.
Yeah.
Oh, the cats seem to have settled down.
MEWT. Mute.
It was love at first sight when I first turned on the TV. The good-looking, dark-haired man wearing the black leather jacket with the brown crush cap with the gold insignia. I don't remember what episode of the show I saw first or even what that was now. The show itself ran from 1965 until 1971. I guess I should mention the name of the show. It was Hogan's Heroes. The dark-haired man was Colonel Robert E. Hogan himself, played by the late Bob Crane. By the time I saw the show, it had been canceled and was in reruns. That was sometime in the mid to late 70s. I always thought the show was so cool. The funny thing is that I remember seeing an episode I had never seen in 1998. At the time, I was using a VCR to record the show off the family channel at 3 a.m. or some crazy hour like that. It was an episode titled Easy Come, Easy Go. The premise of the episode was that General Burkhalter was offering Colonel Hogan $1 million American to go to England, accompanied by a Luftwaffe officer who would be disguised as a deceased American officer whose death had not yet been reported to the Red Cross, to steal a P-51 airplane from the Allies and fly it back to Germany. Did Hogan agree? Yes, largely due to Burkhalter revealing that there was a German espionage organization in England who could help with the mission. He, of course, wanted to make sure that they were dismantled, whatnot. The Luftwaffe officer who was to accompany Hogan was Colonel Klink. To make a long story short, Hogan and Klink stole the plane, and on the way back to Germany, Hogan made sure that it seemed they had run out of gas, so he and Klink bailed out. Hogan had made arrangements with the Allies to put a captured Messerschmitt engine in a P-51 frame, so the Germans didn't get anything out of this deal. Hogan's Heroes has been on somewhere nonstop in syndication from the time it ended until the present day. We heard this from the late Larry Hovis, who played Sergeant Andrew Carter on the show. Carter was the one who did the bombs and the explosives and was all, and in the initial credits they showed him like holding test tubes and whatnot, and it looked like a chemistry lab. I was part of a group of 6 people who went to a convention called the Long Range Desert Convention, which was actually for the Rat Patrol, but it was near to where Larry Hovis resided at the time. So we kind of crashed the convention. This is another long story, not for here. The 6 of us drove to a Tex-Mex restaurant in a nearby city, and it happened to be owned by Larry's brother-in-law, and this was how he had requested it. Larry arrived, and for the next 2 hours, the world could have ended, and the 6 of us wouldn't have cared. We heard things that we would never hear anywhere else, things that make watching the show even more enjoyable. But I have digressed far outside the original love at first sight on TV prompt. But one more thing. Despite what I later heard when Bob Crane died, I was 10 years old at the time. I still love the character of Colonel Hogan. That never changed. Hogan's Heroes is and has always been my favorite TV show of all time.
Excellent, excellent.
There you go.
And I will say here that I totally had you in mind when I made this typing prompt, because I knew you'd talk about Hogan's Heroes.
Somewhere I have a picture of me with Larry Hovis, and I know I've seen it recently, but I don't know where it wound up. It's here somewhere, but
well, when you find it, be sure and show us.
When I find it, I will show you.
Excellent, excellent. Very good. Thank you for that.
Quick question. Have I said hi to Becky yet? Is the face, do I recognize that face?
She was on, I think, last week. How are you, Becky?
Okay.
You're muted right now.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I had dog training this morning.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I have adopted a German Shepherd mix, and I'm not sure who needs training more.
Well, that would be a handful, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. German Shepherds are not small dogs.
Yeah. Well, she's a mix, so she's only about 46 pounds, but still it's 46 pounds of a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. Anything new in your world?
Not really, not too much. Oh, yes. This morning we talked last week about how it never rains here.
Yeah.
It rained this morning.
Oh, wow.
we actually made the pavement was actually wet.
Wow. Very cool. Well, it's good to see you again.
Good to be here.
Yeah. Does anyone else have a typing prompt? Oh, Natasha, you had one.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So y'all know mine. We just talked about it. But I'll tell you again. It was love at first sight when I turned on the TV. I have written about this numerous times before, but my television love at first sight moment was while watching The Saint in my sewing room in 2013. I made the mistake of looking into his gorgeous blue eyes as he broke the theatrical fourth wall at the beginning of each monochrome episode. He has been my writing male muse ever since. In my work, he has been everything from a side piece to a prolific serial killer. Truly an inspiration for me and my work. As some of you already know, I had his signature tattooed on my right arm, along with the stick man and halo. Yep, I'm dedicated.
Excellent. Thank you. And I did predict that you would talk about The Saint again.
It's funny you should say that, Natasha. In what fan fiction I've done, whenever it hasn't been Hogan's Heroes related, I have done the exact same thing with Colonel Hogan. I've managed to make that character into something else.
You mixed their real life in with that character.
That I did not do.
Yeah, I kind of mixed the both in. Oh, how Bob Crane died was awful. Oh my God.
Yeah, he was murdered.
Yeah, I know. I've seen, because I used to watch true crime, and his was one that came up quite a bit. And I was like, dang, whoa, his life was crazy off the screen.
Yeah, it was nasty, awkward, and I choose to leave that part of the, like, I stick with the Colonel Hogan personality, and maybe that's wrong, but that's that's the personality that I like. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah. And see, that's the same thing. I'm like, I leave the James Bond part out. Only part I like is the Saint area. Like, well, when he did his early movies and stuff, on down to the Saint, 1969. That's it. In 70, probably only 71 with the Persuaders, maybe. But I wasn't too crazy about the show, and the theme song got on my nerves. But other than that's the Persuaders. So maybe down to that era, but after that, no, I'm not. He doesn't inspire me at all that way.
All right. Let's see here. Lynn, how are you?
Hi. I really overslept. Whoa.
Just a little bit.
So I thought I'd tune in here since I'm like, hey, well, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you can make it. Very cool. Anything
Nothing much new with typewriters. I didn't get my Underwood yet.
Oh, darn.
Anticipation's good too.
That's true. That's true. As long as it's not followed by disappointment.
Yeah, well, it's typewriters.
I know, right?
How disappointing can it be?
Yeah, that's true. By the way, I do have to say, I have a very low ball bid on another 60s era Royal Companion, which is, it's basically a Royalite. They just put the companion name on there. But I'm going to keep it a low ball offer. Basically, if it's meant to be, then I will get it at my low ball bid. But I already have a really good one from that era, so I won't be overly disappointed if I don't get this one. Although it would be nice to have perhaps a parts machine just in as backup. But yeah, it's just my obsession with the Royal Companions. Does anyone else feel obsessed with? Well, I know Lynn is obsessed with the Torpedo 18. But is anyone obsessed with a particular model of typewriter? And
my Royal 10. I've got 6 of
Royal
them.
10. Oh wow, yeah.
3 of which work.
Well, that's 50%. So you have 3 parts machines.
Parts, yeah. And the Smith Coronas, I got a few of them, different models, but they're not 2 1973 ones and a 1972 maybe. So I kind of like those for traveling before I got the Underwood. I take the 1973 blue Smith Corona to work sometimes because it can take the banging around in the car and all that stuff. But yeah, but my main obsession is the Royal 10. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Anybody else?
Yeah, anyone else obsessed with a particular typewriter?
Smith Premier, but everybody knows that.
I'm fairly obsessed with Royal, like the 1939 to early 40s, the QDLs, Aristocrat, Companion, those ones.
Okay.
And that's probably lifelong. I mean, every time one of those comes up, like on Shop Goodwill, I'm like, maybe you should just like make sure that all the ones you have already are clean and functional and just. There's plenty of those around, but I love them, and my favorite machine is 39 Aristocrat. But I'm getting a little obsessed with these 5AX variations. Now I want like one of each, and yeah. So I'm trying not to be too obsessive, but right?
I found it helpful. My stepdad told me that your collection can be whatever you want it to be. Like you can define the parameters of it yourself. And
yeah, and I define my parameters as Royal and Smith Corona.
Totally. I mean, that's fine. Like my stepmom or my mom was trying to understand kind of where I was going with typewriters. And we had this long discussion about it. And he's a collector of other types of things. And he gave me some great advice about it. And it was basically what he said to her was, Sarah can collect like an entire 100-year period, or she can decide all she wants is a certain decade parameter, or maybe she only wants a certain brand or whatever it is, but that's her decision.
Or maybe she wants any typewriter ever made.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could. I mean, that's basically what he was saying is that that's up to you. And it was really freeing for me because it helped me define what I wanted to collect, which was ultra portables. But I kind of had to play around with it for a little while to get my groove. And, if what you love is Royal Companions and all of those, then go for it. That's your thing, and it can include Hermes and it can include all these other things.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Whatever it's going to be, Olympias, I love the Voss. I'm getting more into those now. But I think it's just that appreciation. You find what you love and it doesn't have to be what other people think it should be. If you want to have 10 Royal QDLs, go for it. That's your collection.
Yeah.
I guess my advice to those who are just beginning with having been collecting for 11 plus years now is grab everything you can in the early days and then work with them. Decide which ones you like to work on the best, which ones you like to work with the best, which ones best suit your typing style, your typing speed, and which ones you feel most comfortable with, and then gear your collection to what you like the best out of what you have, and then always be open to try other ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the way I went. And for a while there, I had a real thing for the Smith Corner Skywriter. I was trying to get a complete set of the Y series. I have the 1Y, 2Y, 3Y, 4Y. I could never quite find a 5Y Corsair or Cougar. I got the 6Y profile and the 7Y Super G. But I could never seem to get my fingers or hands on a 5Y series Smith Corona.
I sold a Cougar once. I had it for a short time. Yeah.
And as far as the 5T series Smith Corona go, I have one of every color except the red.
I love those. Such good machines.
Desert Sand, Alpine Blue, Seafoam Green, Sapphire Gray. I don't have the coral.
Oh, the pink.
Yeah.
That's the holy grail, you know. Everybody wants those pink ones.
Yeah. Well, it seems though the pink 5T series Smith Coronas are as sought after as a Sunshine Yellow Quiet Deluxe.
Yes, but they fade badly. A lot of them do. It's really rare to find one that has a good paint on it. Oftentimes it's sort of brown or, you know, it doesn't look like it used to.
I did come across one at good old Seattle. At that time, funds were really tight. So it went for $75. If funds had not been so tight, I could have completed my collection.
So close. So
yeah, now they regularly go for $300 or $400.
Yeah.
And my stepdad also had asked me to ask everybody, what is the one machine that you sold or got rid of that you regret the most, that you lost out of your collection, that you kind of wish you could get back?
That's an interesting question.
All of them.
I regret selling
my house yet. So I haven't let go of anything yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Me too.
I kind of regret selling a Royal Futura 800 that was gray, and here I am right before I'm getting ready to go meet the guy. I'm typing out. I'm like, damn, why am I selling this? But unfortunately, I couldn't really seem to back out at that point. I took others with me, hoping, you know, I could convince him to take one of those. Oh, this is the one he wanted. And I'm betting it's going to be sitting on his shelf somewhere, you know, which kind of irks me a bit. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
I apparently let go of a Royal with Canterbury Elite typeface. The only way I know that is because I found some notes that I wrote to myself and some addresses that I typed out.
Oh.
Canterbury Elite, and I'm like, what machine was that I didn't even notice that? And was it maybe somebody else? I don't know. I have no idea what machine it was, and I haven't really let that many go. But yeah, so that was kind of odd to stumble upon that, especially when I was trying to find another one. But I have one in the works. It's coming. Well, it's coming from Megan Ciata. It was my birthday typewriter, but it's not. It wasn't ready, and now it's ready. But I said to her, you know what? I'm moving in a month. Like, just wait, and then you can send it to Oregon instead of sending it. One less thing for me to pack, because if she sent it, I wouldn't be able to not open it. So I'm like, you know, that'll be my housewarming present.
I think for me, I perhaps should have given the, I think it was the Olivetti Studio 44. I think I should have given that more of a chance before letting it go.
That's a fantastic machine.
It's just the look of it didn't thrill me. So I don't know. There's just something about the look.
Yeah, the look is our typewriter technician at the shop up in Los Altos told me when I asked him, you know, what other machines would you recommend that are up there with the Hermes? in terms of reliability, quality of type, feel and everything. And he was like the Studio 44. And he said, people don't go for it because it doesn't look that great. But man, is that a great machine. And I got one and it is fantastic. I gave it to my mom. Yeah, but it is.
It's a workhorse, a real workhorse.
And some of the machining of the carriage, adjustment is just so beautiful. The way that they did it, and then it slides on those little metal rollers. It's fantastic.
Wow.
And I don't know if you've ever noticed on the Studio 44, I think it's the D and the E key links are crossed either side of the X.
I'm gonna have to go look at that.
Yeah. So I see we have a new face here from Typespace in Oregon.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard.
Wow,
Thank
fantastic.
you.
Yay.
I don't mind introducing him. This is Tony. He's a guy weird enough and crazy enough to chase his dreams and just opened up a nice brick and mortar in the center of Portland, Oregon there. If you've all heard of it on the social medias, he was kind enough to sit down with me for an hour. I think it was Tuesday night. Anyways, we're going to have a nice podcast coming out here soon. So y'all will get to listen to that, where he gives all the great details. But he's here now, so feel free to ask him all the questions you like. He's got a great space up there. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm just about to move back to Eugene. Where in Portland are you? What part?
Right on Division and 49th on the southeast side.
Okay, I can find you.
Yeah. Just look for Petite Provence, and I'm right around the corner.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a nice.
I used to live in 69th and Hawthorne, I think, or 60 something in Hawthorne.
Right by the reservoir.
Yeah, and I was born in Portland, so I haven't been back in like 10 years, but your shop is one of the reasons I want to return.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
really happy for you. That's awesome.
I had a nice text message from Julia the other day, and she was saying that she has quite a few Canadian friends who, once the border open, they're going to be down there.
Yes, completely. One is specifically a VW collector, VW buses, and so he drives down his beauties at least once a year just to show it off.
Yeah.
UW microbus.
And Logan Longhead, Friends of Jesus, and the Shortlands microbus.
It makes me think of that Arlo Guthrie song.
Do you sell typewriters?
Oh yeah, I've got probably 85 on the shelf right now, another 60 in the back, just waiting to be cycled through and find shelf space. I've got a large community table I'm sitting at in the center of the shop that I'm just inviting people to come down to do meetups and writing competitions, poetry slams, just exchanging thoughts and ideas, screenplays, novels, that kind of thing.
Nice.
Very good.
Are they listed? Are your for sale machines listed on your website?
Well, no, I wanted the website to be more of just a billboard, just being a single proprietor. Julia, my partner, she has a full-time job. She's a professor at a local university, and so I wanted to get it up and rolling brick and mortar first, but I am getting an overwhelming request for shipping and t-shirts and all sorts of things across the country. So it's something I'm going to step into. I believe on my Instagram and Facebook, I'm going to be posting featured typewriters with pricing. But I can only get to the post office twice a week when I'm closed down to ship them out, and
it's a huge amount of all that. Yeah, just listing alone, selling them, shipping them, packing them.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and we're doing service and repair too. So, just trying to be on the showroom floor while trying to service machines in the back. It's a little overwhelming right now, but it's exactly what I expected.
Yep. I run a small engine repair business, and I know all about being a sole proprietor, doing your customer work, your PR work, your inventory work, your parts work, and trying to get your billing done. And everything else altogether. Bob Marshall's in the same boat when he was doing his motorcycle repairs. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, William's a good one. He's gotten to see him do a lot. He's one of those ones I was talking about, Tony, that came from the world of motorcycles.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a great story in that regard. Tony came from the world of motorcycles as well, William. He's one of us. So.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Right on.
But now I'm broken.
Oh.
That distracted Uber driver, which I'm on a non-disclosure agreement with them, so I shouldn't have said that on a live stream. But,
you're among friends.
all right.
I'm curious, I'm sorry, excuse me.
No, go ahead.
How did you get your training to do the typewriter mechanic stuff? Did you go down to ACE, or were you self-taught? And then the other question would be financing for starting a shop like that. I always thought it would be cool to do that, and I'm wondering, do you go like get a small business loan? Do you save like millions of dollars? What do you do?
Not quite that much, but close. Yeah, Matt's a dear friend over at Ace Typewriter, and when I first started collecting, I would take him my over-the-top troubled machines because I wasn't quite at the level of comfort of getting that deep into them. Mm-hmm. So it, after about a year of collecting and just doing some simple cleans and touch-ups, I got in this accident and was down for about 2.5 years with surgeries and recovery. And I started to delve deeper. I started to get those machines that were like, well, if I mess it up, it'll be a good parts machine anyways. So I dove in head first solo, and then realized where my limitations were, and then started reaching out to Matt. And, I even approached him with being that free apprentice. Let me just hang out in the shop and I'll scrub the machines down while I watch you repairing them. And he just didn't have the room. And Lewis is down there sometimes repairing as well. So it made it even a tighter space. Mm-hmm. And then I just, I've got all the old repair manuals from the 20s and 30s, the original ones, the service manuals. So I just immersed myself in it, and I am by no means a learned, fully learned professional. I say that I am definitely not a pro, but I am certainly an enthusiast when it comes to it. So I do have a gentleman, Mark Naylor, who comes in once a week and does my service work. He can knock out 4 to 5 machines a day.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, unless they're over the top damaged, and we're sourcing parts. But as well with Matt, when I opened up, first I asked his blessing. Well, actually, let me go back. First, I asked if he would allow me to open up a second Ace Typewriter, like his sister's shop.
Wow.
And he considered it. Because he's overwhelmed with repairs. He's 4 months behind, and he talked to his family, and it's been in the family for 65 years. And he said, the family really wants to keep ownership, specifically within the family. So I asked for his blessing, and he's like, please open up, take some of my repair jobs, help me out. So once that was established, I felt more comfortable locally that I would have the support of the other companies in the area. Mm-hmm. And he graciously made his full parts inventory available to me for any piece I need. And we still swap machines here and there. Mm-hmm. So when it came to opening the shop, this was just a whim one day. I mean, I had been like I said, 2.5 years down with the accident, and then COVID hits, so another 1.5 down, and now I'm 4 years into it, losing my mind. And I had to change my career after the accident. I just couldn't do it anymore at 52. Starting life over didn't seem too enticing. So I actually just went down the corner, 2 shops down, to a friend of mine's bead shop, just say hi. And I was going to come to the space I'm in now because it used to be a gold and silver shop. Silver was way down that day. I was like, I'll grab a couple 100 ounces and she said, no, the shop's closed. So ended up walking over, looking at the space. The landlord happened to be next door. We talked. Within about 4 hours, I agreed to sign a lease.
Wow.
So got a good discount, paid full year up front, and knocked it down about $4,000. And then just straight into EIN, business registries, getting that all established. And then about a 7-week build out, and then open immediately. I told the piece about that taxi service that struck me. They were quick to want to put a cap on this bottle and hush it up.
Yeah.
So I took that, and my first inclination was to go travel the world, but still with COVID restrictions and everything. It just timed out perfectly. The day I opened was the day Portland, Oregon lifted their COVID restrictions.
Whoa.
So it just happened to meld together. So, long story short, on my inventory through my collecting, before I opened the shop, I have probably 23,000 into it. And from there, the lease hit me at what I paid, $14,600 for the year. And then just amassing. People all of a sudden want to sell their typewriters now that there's a shop in the neighborhood. So I'm picking up ones and taking donations. So all in all, with the build out I had to do, the full year on the lease, which most people wouldn't do, they just go month to month, which would save them a lot. So between the machines and the build out, I want to say I'm in about 30,000.
It's not bad.
No. So looking long term, it could be recoverable. Right now, Portland, Oregon, we have 7-8 months of rain and clouds. So these 2 months of summer, no one wants to go inside.
Yeah.
So it was a great opening, and now I'm getting really trickled interest starting to elevate. And I've had, of course, Bob blogging and our local magazines are putting out a big Best of Portland issue next week. And somehow within a week of being open, I made the Best of Portland.
Nice.
So,
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's called the Willamette Week.
Oh, I know that. Yep, I know that magazine. Yep.
Yep.
And I was gonna say maybe put posters up at Powell's or something. Like once September, October hits, you're gonna have people coming in.
Completely. And that's what I think. And that's giving me time to just pace myself into it and start to establish classes for the community space, get that going. People are really wanting to learn both ends, like 8-finger typing technique, or what is this button, this tab with the numbers on the left side of my carriage do?
Yeah.
So it's going to fold into both of those. Julia's just an amazing linguistics individual, and she wants to teach calligraphy and composition. And we have a huge student base here, and actually a high school about 5 blocks away.
Okay.
And I have a young boy in there in 10th grade. So making this an area for them to do some homework, maybe to just gather in a productive space outside of school and get their friends to come down. And, my hope, of course, is to keep them safe, but secondary, they might go home and say, hey, Mom, oh my God, I want this typewriter. And get them off the digital and expose them back to the analog life.
Amen. Absolutely. That is so inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing that.
That's one thing we forgot to talk about, Tony. I know my son's in the 10th grade as well. And how do we get kids excited? I've had my son on the podcast maybe 3 years ago. his opinions of typewriters are a little different now. He still enjoys them and likes them and appreciates the fact that Dad's home out in the garage with typewriters, whatever. But I think there's a lot to that in exposing the kids to the analog lifestyle. So good on you. You're gonna have a lot of fun with that.
Thank you. It's
Everything
still
you heard will be on my podcast, of course, as well. Tony shared a similar story, so
Cool.
we'll get that out in the next few days. I'm about halfway done editing it. So.
Nice.
okay. Great. So no more spoilers.
No,
Sorry.
put it anywhere you want. Yeah.
I was just dying to hear all that stuff because to me it's just such a cool dream to be able
Oh
to do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Tony, if I may, by trade, I'm a journeyman heavy-duty mechanic, also experienced with ag machinery. And the one thing that really struck me as a similarity is when I got my first repair manual for a Royal QDL, 1940s, is how similar setting up a typewriter is to setting up the knotters on a small square baler. You start with one. You start with one basic setting. Get that set correct, then that becomes your datum point from where all other settings radiate and are affixed to. You go through the entire service manual and the machine runs like silk. As I explained in my letter to Natasha, I picked up a Olympia B12, which is actually a Nakajima, and it was gummed up solid. And I hadn't realized that some of the settings on those machines have to be done to within 10,000ths of an inch. But get everything set correctly, the machine works like silk.
Wow. So great parallels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony,
Okay,
I
well,
have a
Yes.
question.
Yes, please.
Behind you on your left, there's a shelf. And on the lower right, what is that machine? I see, looks like it's a double keyboard something or other.
Yeah, that's the try and get my doors open here and I'll show you. That's the Yoast one.
Oh my God, that place looks like heaven. I just want to tour the
So that's the Yoast one right there.
Oh, cool.
We're getting a virtual tour.
Yep, it's got the great silver medallions, both medallions on the back. I did the refurbage and the nickel plating on that one.
You're kind of cutting in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm standing at the back of it. Maybe it's not working correct. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Then here we have the hand, of course. You have to have the aluminum plate, or that's
Lexington.
and then there's the aluminum. Number 6. And then good old Chicago.
Wow.
Vortex.
Down on the bottoms. If I can figure out where my camera is. Got a nice American right there.
Oh.
Then over to the Bennett. Light might be an issue in a second. There's the Merit. Good old standard folding. My holy grail, the bar lock. And over to the World.
Wow.
Nice.
So that's kind of my that's my personal collection, but I will accept ridiculous offers. But then I have let's see, I've got my Royal, or I'm sorry, my Remington.
Yep, you're cutting out again.
Oh, probably where my finger is. So Remingtons.
Oh yeah.
T-shirts. And over to the Royals.
Nice.
And the Underwoods.
Oh.
Little Klein Adler down there, front strike.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've got a bunch of, I only do 2 electrics. That's going to be
Oh,
the
yeah.
515 to the 5 LEs. And so over on this side, oh boy, got my first Royal that I ever got right there. And then a nice noise, 2 noiselesses. Underwood, got a Erica. I did the repaint.
Yep, you're cutting out again.
Oh, sorry.
Almost need a headset with Mike.
Yeah.
Right, I should probably put that in. Let me do that. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that microphone is unidirectional, so when you're behind it, it cuts out your sound.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
That is such a
okay. Is that better?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Check my audio.
Oh no, look at that decal. Okay, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks. You need to do an appearance at this shop. Tom Hanks.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Let me get that, and then we'll get back real quick. So, what do we have down here? The Olympia, the Rheinmetall. Got a Q or a TBM Deluxe. Oh, I'm on the wrong shelf. Sorry.
Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah.
And then heading down to the bottom, just a nice SC on the Smith Corona. A fun Rover 5000. Just reminded me of my old like Atari or Nintendo. And then good spray. These ones might be the cover of the magazine. Willamette Week this week.
Nice and colorful.
Hi, Candy. Sure.
And a couple of the Corona 4s. Gotta have the Hermes. That's a flat front on the 3000. These I nickel plated myself. They were just too damaged. Especially the middle one that came up from Argentina got destroyed in shipping. But the paint was just too far gone. And then another, another Hermes 3000 to 2000, another noiseless. Let me get a wider shot here. Then into the 60s or so.
Smith Premier.
And the DL and the Olivetti's and the Starfires and oh boy.
Okay, I want to know what the serial number on the Smith Premier number 4 is.
Right? It could be so close. I'll pull that one down.
I'm terrible.
I should have that in my inventory on that. Then it goes, I'll come back here. Then just handed the logo on the wall.
So beautiful.
That's wonderful. Books, lots of crates.
Cool.
Wonderful desk.
Go, just tins and ribbons and obsoletes. Then my front case. Got the Odell 4, or no, Odell 2 and the Odell 4 box. Gotta figure out which direction. There's other randoms and that even showing, I'm not sure. Then I have just countless advertisements, originals.
Oh, nice.
That's a great idea to have those there.
Then these are expired patents that I sourced and did inverse imaging on and full clean. So I have 107 of those patents, and I just obtained 715 more from a gentleman in Paris.
Wow.
That I haven't treated, and these are one of the biggest sellers As far as the ephemera and advertisings go, everybody just loves those. And
Beautiful.
yeah, it was just it brings me closer to understanding the mechanisms the more I look at these designs, and it just helps me be familiar with more unique machines that I'm not.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been looking at those. I've been looking to try and find some of the Smith Premier related ones, but I haven't quite been able to do that.
Well, I'll fold through my files and see if I can pull one out, because they don't list them by design. It's just by a number.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So then I do have a full service area / t-shirt printing / complete mess.
Awesome.
Trust me, that's not a mess.
Well, I'm only 2 weeks open, so give me time. I'll fill it up.
Right?
We've got a nice little sink area, and here's my work desk.
Great.
Right
Yeah,
here.
that's nice.
So I can keep an eye out on the shop when I'm back here. I set it right by the door.
My grandmother used to have a saying, "A creative mess is far prettier than idle tidiness."
I agree.
Tidiness. I like that. That's good.
I should apply that statement to my local repair shop, because you go through the door and there's a very small area where you can stand. Everywhere else is typewriters. It's like you can barely move in this place. And even in the back room where they work, you can barely move in that place too.
It's kind of like Ace Typewriter here. You know, he's got 6 years of accumulation. He's got, you know, in the front room, aside from all the stacks of typewriters on the floor waiting for repair, he's got probably 60 or 70 typewriters out there, but really only about 10 or 12 are for sale. So I keep trying. I'm like, "Hey, Matt, how much do you want for this one?" "Oh, that's not for sale." Come on, man. Everything's for sale. But yeah, he is so stacked up, and he has 60 years of accumulated parts and machines, and so he actually unloaded a great table to me, a nice corkscrewed big work table from the 30s, one of the 3-foot cast irons, and he thankfully released that from his to allow me to use that.
Wow.
And so he's been more than supportive, and you know, we'll sit down and shoot the beeswax, having beers in the back, and it's just
what helps him decide what's for sale? I'm curious why he has so many that he's hanging on to.
I believe because it was his father's shop before him. A lot of that collection was his father's, and his father wouldn't sell it. So I think it carries over part nostalgia and part collecting.
Okay.
Now, one other quick question. Do you have a mailing address available somewhere?
I do, yeah. It's on my website. It's on the Facebook. It's on the Instagram.
Okay, I don't do Facebook or Instagram.
Okay. If you have a pen, I can shoot it to you.
Okay.
The 2409 Southeast 49th Avenue. And that's Portland, Oregon. 97206.
97206?
Correct.
Perfect.
Excellent. Now, I'm sitting here wondering how we can best help you. Do you have like logo merchandise that we could buy? You know, considering we're spread throughout the world, really. But is there merchandise that we can buy to help support you?
Yeah, I'm in the process of screening about 100 shirts over the next few days. So I'm doing olive green, yellow, kind of a Captain Kirk gold, more, and then a black with the logo. And then I've got some stickers ordered at this point, and we're just in shop. You know, I have a nice stamp with the logo and everything on it, and we're just giving away letterhead and stamped envelopes and things like that. Actually, Julia is taught an envelope making class.
Oh, cool.
And, so these are just giveaways that were there, but past that, you know, I would love to logo a you know, an underpad, a felt
oh yeah,
writers.
Brilliant idea.
I'd like to get maybe I've got a bunch of old ribbon tins that either never had or someone stripped off all the logoing on, to see about just getting stickers on there.
Yeah.
But past that, I'm on the fence of doing an Etsy shop, and I wanted to reach you guys who are online doing e-commerce to figure out what platform's really going to maximize your profitability versus their fees, exaggerated fees. Because there is, you know, there's Facebook Marketplace now, Instagram, you can sell on there as well, but it's not something I'm familiar with. So I reached you guys if you have any information that could help.
Well, I do know, like, particularly with Facebook, you're gonna miss a segment of your audience just because there are people that simply do not do Facebook. So I would probably shy away from that. And do you have actual e-commerce set up on your website, or?
I don't. I had the option, but it was hard enough for me to even think about inventorying all my items first off, and then just all the smalls, all the little awards and pins, and just a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I agree with Tony. The e-commerce on the website is a lot, and it's always the old additive of when you're running a shop, do you deal with the customer in front of you or the customer on the phone? The answer is you deal with the customer in front of you and tell the person on the phone, please hold. Back when I had my shop, I remember I just had the 2 lines, and I'd get someone on the phone. They'd go, I've been trying to call you for hours. Well, yeah, the phone lines are held up and I'm busy. Come on down, you know. Whatever you want to say. No, good for you, Tony. You get to deal with the customer in front of you first. So
yeah, the bird in the hand. Yeah.
The philosophy I've always held is if a person has taken the trouble to get in the vehicle or whatever, come down to your shop and walk into your shop, they have gone to more effort than the person who's sitting at home and just picked up the phone. The person in the store gets preferential treatment, and sometimes you have to say to the customer, hang on, I got a phone call on. Yes, okay, I have a customer with me right now. Can I call you back? Give me a number. Okay, I'll call you back when I'm done. Click, thanks.
Yeah.
Some people get frustrated, but I always figure if someone has gone to the trouble of coming into your store, deal with them first.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah. Also, well, I've had good luck with Shopify, but there's a definite learning curve there, and I don't know that you want to take away time from actually running your brick and mortar store. So that might be a bit much, but an alternative is something like PayPal Business, where you can even just create little pay now buttons and just slap it on your existing website. So that would be a possibility.
Okay, no, that's a good idea.
If you're strictly gonna sell like branded merchandise, such as T-shirts and that kind of thing, a lot of the services that do that, like what is it, Redbubble, there's Cafe Press is a huge one, and all of these, they make it very easy to get your products out there and available online. So Cafe Press is actually a pretty easy one. Most recently, I've worked with Zazzle, which is ZZLE. And their quality is actually surprisingly good. I'm very impressed with them. And again, it's super easy, and you can get your products listed on their website. So if someone searches for typewriter, your logo might come up, and you might sell merchandise just that way. And then of course you can link to it on your own website as well. So these are some options, and maybe I'll reach out to you, and because I used to be a web designer. Now I just do it for myself, but I would be willing to offer you some further suggestions outside of the meeting. And
that's amazing. I had a team come on called Modern Ally to create my website.
Okay.
And it was too close to opening to flip the switch on looking at another company, because they were just template driven, and they were confined by the template parameters. And then I had to pay them more money to get back into a CSS or something, some kind of back coding where they can adjust the template. And now just because I'm not familiar with the GoDaddy or WordPress, whatever it went through, then there's a maintenance fee, that they'll do all my image change out and anything per month at like $80 a month. So yeah, and I thought I was pretty good at development and stuff like that, but my website just seems a little flat to me because of their lack of including Elan, just fun stuff. There's no hover over like image pops, and so it's just, yeah, again, I just want initially just a billboard right now. And then they had the kind of a contact us or stay in touch thing set on my front page that went to a WordPress blog that's available, but I have no intention of blogging. So it was like, no, I need these emails to be able to go to like MailChimp, so I can do email blasts once a week. And so that was all crossed over. So I'm still redefining the website with them a little bit, and any insight is welcome. I appreciate you being willing to reach out and help.
Yeah, I'll definitely reach out, and I'll take a deeper look at your website, and we can see what your options are. So
okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Gregory. I need to hire you to do the same thing for me, please. I'm having a few issues lately. I built one and it's just kind of informational, but I'd like to expand it a little. So,
and I'm not a paid web designer anymore, so I'm just doing it out of the love for typewriters. So yeah, so I wouldn't be charging you.
Well, maybe with all the questions I might have, you might consider invoicing me.
Well, I just looked up your website, and I have to say that the pictures are beautiful. I mean, the images, it really is I think, very pretty looking, considering that you just started this. It's very nice. And I know that if you do ever have time to blog, that you can do search engine optimization on WordPress. So you can, do a lot of tags. Basically, you write about something and then you tag all of the different topics that you've covered. And then when people start looking it up, it'll shoot to that, blog. So it is a way to bring eyes to your website. I learned that when I was working for a legal marketing company. So
yep, definitely.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm much better talking than I am writing, so I would need a kind of a voice to text program going while I'm trying to write a blog. Whenever I write, the biggest problem I have with my writing, because I've tried writing plays and short stories and books. It's dialogue. All my what I feel is my best writing is my stream of consciousness writing, just my thoughts going out. But when I start trying to identify different personalities and their you know, their verbiage and how they're, it's just way past me. So even doing blogs and, you know, doing my Instagram posts and things, Julia's saying, kind of impersonal. It's just short, and you need to bring some warmth into it. You know?
Well, I don't know what, for what it's worth, I used to transcribe basically interviews that the lawyers would have with each other, and then turn those into blog posts. So yeah, so they would send me audio, and it would be the guy talking, basically like what you're describing. And you could have Julia do this with you, since she's so wonderful with writing and words. You could just like say some stuff, blah, 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 whatever, and say, hey, can you listen to this and make a blog post out of it? That's just a thought. Yeah.
Yeah. But I tried to script my press release out to all the media, and I had like 5 sentences, and she's like, give me that. And now we got 6 paragraphs and full descriptors.
Nice. Sounds like a good partnership you have there.
He's amazing.
That's great.
And it's her father's fault I got into this, because he's on the board of a small museum in Coos Bay, Oregon, and it's an old print shop that went down in the 70s, and no one touched it till about 2004. But he put some typewriters upstairs, and that's what got my interest 6 years ago when I first met him and her.
Wow, how cool.
Yeah. Gotta get plugged in here. I'll be right back.
Yeah, there's a lot to that. Sarah, I liked how you said earlier, how do they have so many typewriters for sale at Ace Hardware, or so many typewriters available and they're not for sale? And the answer is always time. You know, they don't have, if you don't have time to repair and rebuild the machines, and you got customers handing you money for repair jobs, that's how you end up with a ton of typewriters sitting around, right?
Yeah. It makes me wonder too about the long-term trajectory of Typespace, and how, you know, right now he's got a lot of beautiful machines that are ready to go, but will it get to a point where he's bogged down with repairs and then doesn't have as much inventory?
Yeah, you're right. And what financially makes sense?
Right.
If you spend time, effort, energy on a machine that someone may or may not buy,
right?
Is it worth it?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a hard one. I've learned that too. These days, if someone says, I'm real lucky with my database and it's an active file, you know, I'm always tweaking on it. And if someone says, hey, I'm looking for this machine, I can go, well, I've got 3 or 4 of them. Let me take a look. Okay, I've got one. Let me clean it, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be this much, and I'll have it ready for you in 2 weeks. And they're like, oh, okay, great. You know, so it's kind of the way it's going, because who can afford to spend all the time rebuilding the machines and then setting them out where they may or may not sit for, you know, a week or two. Tony mentioned on the interview that I gave with him in the show that, you know, after stuff sits for a few weeks, it just doesn't work as well as it wants to, or maybe a few months, really, right? But
that's true. That's true.
It's all give and take.
Kind of like in my business, every now and then I'll end up with a few riding lawnmowers, or 1 year I ended up with 5 snow blowers that I reconditioned, had for sale. Those things sat in my yard for 3 years, so I ended up basically giving away. The next year I could have sold 10 good reconditioned snow blowers, because everybody wanted one, but for the previous 5 years nobody wanted one.
Yeah.
So you just never know what the market demands.
Well, if anyone needs inventory, I've got extra typewriter.
We all do, right?
Just hit me up. They were.
Swinging in typewriters.
Yeah.
But they were.
Every so often I offer one of my machines to the local shop. And he's bought a couple from me before and given me like store credit for repairs or platens or what have you. So that was a good arrangement. But he's very, very picky, of course, and he'll only buy like the stuff that I've completely fixed up and is beautiful, basically ready for him to flip. And, you know, he's going to take it and put a $500 sticker on it, but, you know, I get a free platen out of it or what have you. So.
Right. Because he gets off of the warranty on it. That's where
yeah.
That's always a give and take. You're offering the warranty and 100 other things, but
right.
Good for you, Sarah. Sounds like you got a good deal going.
Thanks.
Yeah.
A few times anyway, yeah.
Plus, you're supporting a small business.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love to do that. I mean, I'm kind of like what Anthony was saying, where Tony was saying, where the machines that I just know are out of my skill set, I always take to those guys. Everything else I want to learn how to do myself. But there are a few things where I just say, okay, this is way beyond me and I want him to do it for me. And it feels good to just support that business, keep it alive, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And the problem with Matt over at Ace Typewriter, I don't know whether he's got, DB Cooper money buried in the backyard. He will not take money for any repairs he does for me.
Really?
Yeah, so I'll drop him, typewriters and just say, oh, here, I don't want this anymore, take it. Okay, but yeah, he'll redo my whole Selectric, and I'm like, that must have taken you 2 hours at least. He's, well, yeah, a little more. Okay, how much do I owe you? Oh, nothing, don't worry about it. So I end up hiding money in his shop behind his counter, so he can.
It sounds like he's just probably a very good soul.
Oh, he's an amazing individual, and came out to my private opening, and I was just tickled pink. I got to tell y'all, I should have opened 20 minutes ago, but no one's come to the door. So I'll be jumping off in just a few, but I'll get on earlier next week. Kind of other than the magazine locally and everything, I had a curator of a local museum in Washington State approach me saying, look, the museum's been open since the early 1900s. The collection started on our typewriters, and we have about 200 typewriters up to about 1935. And we've determined that unless it directly speaks to our local community, they're not a fit for the museum. So would you be interested in coming down and doing helping us with identification and inventorying? And then if you would like to make a donation to take the entire collection, you're the only person we're talking to initially about this.
Wow. The answer is yes.
Immediately. And I was talking to Tony Casillo yesterday, and I was like, well, you're the kind of guy that sells more of the $5,000, $8,000 machines, so maybe you want a piece of this. Mm-hmm. He's like, yes. Any chance.
Yeah.
So I might, why I'm saying this, other than it's a great thing for me, but I would like to, I'm not going to be able to amass and store all these items. So come the beginning of fall, there might be many I would like to offer to you guys for your collection or for resale, whichever way you're approaching it, at hopefully a very good price, because even though I'm making the valuations on the machines as I'll go through the inventory process and identification, she's like, we'd be happy with maybe 10% value on a donation side. So it's an opportunity that might come up and assist the group as a whole.
Wow.
Yeah, let me know, Tony. I'll bring the truck and the trailer up.
Okay, great.
We'll all be jumping on the back of his trailer there.
just send me out one of those drop boxes and I'll fill it, then they'll ship it back to you.
And this is why we all have to be careful. Anytime we have typewriters in our cars or trucks, we have to lock it. Otherwise, people will add more typewriters.
True.
Amazing. Well, I'm going to step away and get the A-frame signs out and turn the lights on. I want to thank you guys for inviting me on board, and I appreciate all of you, and I hope I get a chance to talk to you each individually throughout the time forward.
Yeah.
I say, as soon as the borders open, I'm going to be heading down south to Bab to pick up some supplies that have been sitting there since last March.
Wow.
And then maybe come fall, the wife and I might do a trip down to Oregon just to swing by the various spots there and say hi to Bill Guthrie.
Fantastic. Well, you have a home here. That's for sure.
Appreciate that.
Up with you.
Yes.
Bill's been hanging out with Tony lately, so
Yep.
Bill's a good guy.
What a
Amazing.
pleasure.
I actually, during the interview with the Willamette Week, they weren't initially going to do photos because the print was so close. So they called me the following day and said, "No, we want to get a photographer down there." And he came down and he said, "All right, I want a video of of you typing the best of Portland," which is the name of the issue. And I was like, "You don't want that with my 2-finger hunt and peck typing." So I called I called Bill down and I was like, "Will you be my stunt double on the fingers?" Like, "Yes, I'm coming down."
That's awesome. I want to see that video. That's terrific.
Yeah, it's going to be on their website. It's part of their social media platform on the video side. And he was one of 3 photographers in town that was vying for the front cover.
Wow.
So I won't know till the issue comes out on Wednesday if I made the front cover.
Okay. Let us know.
Oh, most definitely.
You do. I want a copy of that.
Oh, trust me, I'm going to be taking stacks out of all the little dispensers here locally.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tony, and I'll be in touch with you.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys be well.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Congratulations. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Wow, that was cool.
Oh my, yeah.
So cool.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah, I thought so. He was real gracious too to be on the podcast. So I hope to put that out in the next few days. I'm about halfway done editing it. It was great. We talked for like an hour and a half, and then talked for another hour and a half. Yeah, he's a real good dude. I think he's going to do great things for the area of Portland, and I think it will be. It is a good sign. Whatever he's doing, especially with a city like Portland can. They can be different, but the economics are all the same. So if he can do it there in Portland, it can be done other places. And it's a great example for me. If I do a brick and mortar, do I need to do 1,000 square feet, or do I need to do 2,000 or 3,000 square feet? I think it'll be.
Bob, one thing I would suggest, and my wife and I have just finished reading the book called The E-Myth Revisited.
Yeah.
And that's a book about entrepreneurialism. I think it's right. Yeah. And it goes through a lot of very interesting things. How if you're going to be an entrepreneur, how things can go sideways so easily, and how you have to really set out your guidelines first before you start, so you stay within your guidelines.
Oh yeah, I agree. And it's the brick and mortar thing's hard because right now, for example, China, 60% of their internet use is online shopping. So if China's doing that, what's the rest of the world doing? They're going to catch up, or is it just an e-commerce trend? Like e-readers were 10 years ago. Who knows? It's going to be an option. So maybe I should just do everything online and ship everything out. Maybe that's the way to do it. So I'm not paying overhead and taxes and water board regulate. All that
stuff, yeah.
Well, yeah. So how do you play it? I will tell you, I agree with William. It's been very exciting to stop and talk with shop owners of typewriter places, and they're very specific. They do what they want to do within certain parameters and guidelines because they know that's where they can make their money. They know that's where the money is. So, and whether that theory is 50 years old or 10 years old, they're all very specific on what they do and what they don't do. I think there's always going to be money in repairs. There may or may not be money in sales, no matter how much you charge for it. You got only so much display space, and the machine's sitting there for a year. It really turns into a problem if you let it. So
yeah,
it's all give and take. I don't know. Well, we'll see what the brick and mortar future holds for me. Right now, I'm busy enough with just a few machines a week that I do, and then everything extracurricular and the thing with the museum. And if I can do more things like that with the museum, because it's odd. Rentals too. I started doing rentals, so that's been. So I think I may be too busy with the extracurriculars to actually do brick and mortar. Go figure. But.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in this book, they were talking very strongly about delegation by abdication. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, I think that's hard too. I want very good quality control. And when I ran my business before, everything that went through my shop, I touched. So every day I touched tens of units. It was all amp and guitars. So I touched just tens and tens of units. And then I had another kid that came in, and his job was to play all the musical instruments. He thought it was the greatest job in the world. Well, I think there's a lot to that. What's the name of the book, William? I should look it up.
The E-Myth Revisited.
Okay. I think I remember seeing. You know what? And I think it's free right now on Audible. I think I remember seeing it. I'm gonna look it up.
Audible, or my wife got it on Kindle.
Right. Good for you.
Yes,
there we
go.
go. Thank you, Gregory.
Yeah.
Well, Bob, from the sounds of it, if you had a brick and mortar store, you'd have to have somebody type on your typewriters every day for you. As a job.
Really? I should relocate to fill the position, Sarah. And that would be exciting to have. Yeah, that would be a typist like you cranking through, and you go, oh, I can only type 40 words a minute on this machine. We needed to do 60. Tune it up, make it work right.
Yeah.
That would be exciting.
Have a girl typing in the window, you'd have tons of sales.
I think they call it typewriter cheesecake at that point. And you're right.
Dress up in a nice, 1940s, 1950s outfit, be sitting there typing, like, oh, what's in here?
Right. Oh, you're right. There's a lot of attraction to that. And I see it with people. Same way when I used to rip on guitars, play guitars. It's the same when I start typing. People are like, oh, this machine can actually work. This person can actually type, whatever. Yeah, it's a good idea, Scott. You're not wrong.
Yeah, and then if you're typing on a mid-50s Quite Deluxe, then you just increase the tension on the drawer band with a little knob on the side and type faster. Throttle it up a bit.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Mike, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Very good. Very good.
Sorry to get in here so late. I just have this archery thing in the morning, and coming here at the end of the day.
Yeah. Did you catch the end of Anthony from Type Space?
Yes. Just the very end of it. I didn't see who he was or anything like that. So.
Yeah, he recently opened a typewriter shop in Portland, and it's a beautiful, beautiful space. It's very inviting, and he has this huge table set up right in the middle where people can sit and test out the typewriters. And
yeah, I think it's only 800 square feet. He was saying, so he's in he's in a small space, but he's making it work. Good for him. I mean, it's just bigger than my garage, right? So.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say that the type space is a tight space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I have a little story about a typewriter shop.
Oh, excellent.
Years ago, there was a typewriter shop in town here in Williamsburg, and it was Colonial Typewriter, and they became Colonial Office Supplies, and then Staples has been here for years, and I think there was an Office Depot that came and went, but anyway, I drove by and they're still there. So I went by to see, to check them out. I figured I need a ribbon, so I went there. Well, there was a guy about my age there and another guy in the back, but so I said, I need a ribbon. They said, what kind of typewriter do you have? Well, I told him about a Skywriter and all this other stuff. Well, he didn't know what it was, but he took me over to where the ribbons were. And I think if you needed an old cartridge ribbon to something, they probably have it. But digging through, we found one ribbon.
Oh, wow.
Wow. And then so that was fine. So it's probably been there for 20 years, but it's still sealed, so I'm sure it's fine. But he couldn't find the price on it. So he's looking it up. So he called up somebody and he goes, well, this is the typewriter guy. So apparently, whoever owned it way back when is still around, still repairs typewriters and everything like that, but he just wasn't there that day. So. And it's probably smaller than 800 square feet. There's a lot of look like refurbished copiers and laser printers and stuff like that in the store. I saw one maybe one daisy wheel printer typewriter down the bottom of the shelf, but no regular typewriter. So anyway, it's nice to know they're still there. If I needed something fixed, I could take it there. But I've cleaned them out of ribbons. So
you bought the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and accessories is where all the money is. You might sell a typewriter and make a few dollars, but the accessories are going to constantly bring you money all day long. Yeah, I need to get more into the accessories game. I've got a few things. I'll let y'all know. I got a few things I'm going to release this week as far as accessories, so I'm real excited. We'll see how it all goes. I took some pictures yesterday of everything on display that we're selling, and that was fun. A lot of accessories sold. In fact, that was all that sold. I didn't sell any machines yesterday, but I sold a ton of accessories. But it was very eye-opening how many people did not have $20 or $10 or $5 cash on them. So I'm gonna have to revisit how to. I just prefer cash. I do have PayPal. I have it all set up, but everybody wanted Venmo or Cash App or thankfully Aaron, my partner there had something called Apple iPay, or I don't even know. I don't. Maybe I'm not cool enough. I use cash. I don't know why people don't use cash. I certainly don't know why people don't carry cash. It was a real eye opener for me. So I'm going to have to figure that out.
Yeah, actually, if you sign up with, it's called Square. I believe they'll send you a free card swiper. So
it plugs in. It just plugs into your smartphone.
Yeah.
Swipe it.
So I've got a card swiper with PayPal.
Oh, okay.
Two out of 5 cards wouldn't work. So I don't know.
Try Square. More businesses use.
Yeah.
Yeah, more businesses use Square, but it does require a decent cell phone connection.
Sure. So, I had that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Try Square then.
Okay, I'll do that because I don't know. You're in LA. How do you not have $5 cash? I'm very confused. But this is the future, and it doesn't have anything to do with my opinion. So,
well, I will say, with the pandemic, I deliberately stopped carrying cash.
We're not friends anymore. Let me hear the theory. What's the theory? What am I missing?
That's interesting, though. Yeah, that's an interesting point, Gregory.
So for 9 years, I worked in the financial industry, okay? I handled loads and loads of cash. In our vault, we had, one time it peaked out at $160,000, which I had to physically count every bill, okay? So let me tell you, paper money especially is really, really gross. Sure. and also when you're
cumbersome.
When you're dealing with the customers, they pull their money out of very strange places.
Oh no.
So, let me just tell you, a bra is not intended to be a wallet. Nor is underwear.
Okay. Yeah, the bra I don't mind so much, but the other part.
So one time we literally had to take the cash and lay it out on a table and spray it with Lysol. That's how bad it was.
Seriously? That's disgusting. You can launder your money. I mean, wash it in the washing
machine. That's why strip clubs and laundromats were invented, right?
Yeah. And what is the best laundry soap for washing your money, I wonder? Put a little Downy on it,
Gregory, I appreciate the input. You're right. I need to get with the times. I'm just having personal issue with it. So I think
I think
you're right. I'll get into it. I appreciate that makes sense. People not carrying money for that reason. So
and
Sarah, I'd say the best laundry detergent for washing your money would be one with a nice scent.
Oh God, you are so good. That's fantastic. Oh yeah.
It's hard to get cash nowadays because at least our bank branch closed, and I can go to the drugstore, but it's just getting it out of the.
Yeah, Gregory makes a great point that because of the pandemic, we're all ordering online now, that fewer of us will be carrying cash anyway because we're spending more time at home. Even though the pandemic is over, that may be something that is a pattern now developing all over the country, all over the world. And I know that for a while there was a big fear that the money, the dollar bills themselves were carrying COVID germs. People were very freaked out about that. They thought transmission was happening through handling money. So it could be that is part of the reason why.
Yeah. Fortunately, it turned out that it doesn't transmit through touching objects.
Yeah, yeah.
It's personal contact.
Right. Yeah, there was a while there in the beginning where I was letting a typewriter sit for a few days now, and then after a while I was like, oh, forget about it. I would open it right up the same day. I'm not scared that there's COVID on this thing, take some Lysol wipes, we're good to go.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, that was a very real concern at work because we're dealing with books that people are borrowing, and
yeah.
so we were very cautious about it. We would put them in quarantine for 9 days.
Oh wow!
Which was more than was recommended, but we were erring on the side of caution.
Yeah.
But then it came out that it's extremely unlikely to be transmitted through objects. So we got rid of the quarantine, so we don't do that anymore. Yeah. But I'm still getting used to the idea of touching money, though.
Yeah, sounds like you were kind of traumatized by that whole experience.
Yeah. I was not cut out for the financial industry. Yeah.
There's still that national coin shortage too.
What's that?
Coin shortage. Coin.
Oh yeah. A
lot of places say they don't want cash because they don't have the change.
Exactly. Or they ask for exact change or something like that. Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that was a crazy side effect that I think people didn't think about when we were in the midst of it. And but yeah, I guess we're still in that shortage. So
yeah.
Yeah, and I always carry a cash box with me to make up the difference, but I think I just need to make sure I have a phone connection anywhere I'm doing business. That's what's going to make it work, right? So
yeah.
Thank you all for the insight. I appreciate you.
Of course. Well, Mike, is there anything else new with you, or?
No, nothing much new. It's just no new machines this week. I've hit, which of course you'll laugh at this number. I've hit 10, and
double
digits. It feels good. I'm not. I guess I'm going to try to be more selective at this point.
Yeah, it took me 45 typewriters to get to that point. Now I'm extremely selective, and I've slowed down a lot because it is way out of hand. My wife has been very, very patient with me, so yeah.
Well, there hasn't been anything on Facebook Marketplace that was interesting to me. So
okay. Yeah, there's still like a couple typewriters that I would totally jump at getting, but other than that, I'm like, eh. I mean, at this point, it would really have to wow me to get me to take the plunge, and it's partly the fault of that Hermes.
No problem. No problem. Glad to help.
I know, huh?
But I know what you mean, Gregory. I kind of feel the same way. Like after the first 20 or 30, and now that I've had 45 come in and out of my life in some format, like half of them I don't own anymore, but the other half I still do in the collection. I got to a point where I was like, okay, I feel like I'm pretty good, and it has to be something really special. So I'm getting much pickier, and that's nice, but I've also spent a lot of time deep diving into really messed up machines to get to that point. And I think that may be a similar journey for a lot of people.
Yeah. It's definitely for me. It's just about experiencing the different typewriters, and I think I have so many now that I try and rotate through them for my blog posts, which have sadly slowed down, but I need to pick that up again and rotate through the typewriters and continue that discovery of the different experiences each one provides, because every single one is a very different experience. So yeah, I need to get back to that and focus on that more than acquiring more. So.
It's okay. There's no shame. Whatever you need to do is good.
Yeah. Well, I think we're about ready to wrap up. Marvin just jumped on, but I do think we need to wrap up here, and I just one more. Did anybody else have a typing prompt? I don't want to leave anyone out, just in case. Like if you did one, Mike, or I know you did one.
Sorry, I didn't.
No, that's okay. You already earned your sticker for the month because you did the July 4 prompt. So
okay.
Yeah, so you earned your sticker.
Actually, I did one the week before that, and I never got on here. So I got one in the bank if I ever need one, but
okay,
not this week.
Excellent.
I want to share one thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's not a typing prompt. It's just that I posted on the ATI page that I was doing well with getting rid of machines and not getting more, but then all of a sudden I have 2 new ones and 2 in transit, and I'm bidding on 3 more. And then I don't know how that happened. I just got hungry, and now I am gonna, in a few minutes, go pick up yet another typing table. And of course people have to jump on and, say things like, don't fight it, you go, and stuff like that. But because just a bunch of enablers, right?
I was going to say, Joe would say enablers.
Carolyn Barrett commented, I see group expert under your name. Therefore, this classifies as research. Carry on.
That's awesome. I did see you have that designation, group expert.
I think just like because I post a lot there, but apparently that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Anybody can call it research, right? We'll just call it research.
Yeah.
It's field research. We're all part of the field research team.
Yeah.
I'll report back. So not next week, in a couple weeks.
We'll be expecting your report. Fully
Yeah.
typewritten, then double spaced.
Yeah. So again, a reminder that the next meeting, unfortunately, isn't until August 8th. Because on the 25th, again, we're going to be down in San Diego. And then on the 1st, I'm hoping to meet up with Brian Good. I think he's under the impression that he would just be here on the stream, but physically here with me. But I'm not sure that that'll work out. So I think I'm going to suggest that we just meet at a restaurant or something, and it'd be a better chance to talk and yeah. I think it would be less awkward.
No type house for 2 weeks.
I know, I'm sorry, but there's the possibility, we'll see how it works out with hanging out with Brian. But I could potentially, go live on YouTube or potentially do a pop-up meeting just on my cell phone, most likely. But we'll see how that goes. But for now, I moved that meeting to the 8th of August. So yeah, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah. But maybe I'll see you, Kara, on somewhere around the 23rd to the 25th.
That would be really, really awesome. Even more fun than this. Well, at least as fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
All
right.
It's been a good meeting. A quick hi to Marvin, just to say a quick hi before I go.
Yeah. He came on right at the end.
Yep.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Marvin.
Well, I'm
Redstone
quite
Rocket.
surprised. I'm quite surprised to see that you're still quite live, even after 3 hours and 44 minutes.
Yeah, I know,
being
right?
online.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. We are finally wrapping up though, so but I'm glad you could get on for a little while anyway.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Marvin.
Okay, well, I better leave.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, and see you in
Thanks all. Take care. God bless everybody.
Yes.
Bye.
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 Bye.